Very busy show planned for you today. Not only will we be talking plenty of golf, obviously, but there's some other things happening locally and regionally, also nationally in the world of sports. Kermit Davis will be joining us. He is the head basketball coach at Ole Miss, and tomorrow night at AutoZone Park, it's Ole Miss night, and Kermit Davis will throw out the first pitch, so we'll talk to Kermit about that, ask him if he has a curveball or a knuckleball or just throw a straight fastball. At 11:25, Nick Bromberg, who will join us from Yahoo Sports, talk some NASCAR and college football with Nick Bromberg. And then at 12:30, it's our four-man scramble. We'll make our picks for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational with Keith Penke and Jay Hasselman. We'll have some other guests throughout the day, throughout the week, all the shows. You never know who's going to stop by and pop on in. I do want to tell you that we will not have dinner and a movie today, but it will return next Wednesday. We're going to go over some of the tee times for the first couple of rounds and just get you up to date with everything that's happening here at TPC Southwind. But Eli, it is fabulous. It's here, and we are fired up about it.
Yeah, it's and I mean, you can't ask for better than this. A glorious day in every way. Not a cloud in the sky, but not too hot. Course looks just spectacular, and you're walking through today. Just in the time I've been here, saw Justin Thomas teeing off on number one. Walked by Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Tommy Fleetwood, Sergio Garcia. I mean, it's everywhere you look. It's the biggest names in golf, and it's going to be a fun week out here at TPC Southwind. There is no doubt about that, and really, really looking forward to this. And again, this weather. I was talking to somebody earlier or the Volunteers who was out here early today, real early. It said driving a cart at like 6:30 in the morning, it was legitimately cold. And I'm like, it's just crazy. I mean, that is insane. It's July. It's late July. And people are cold driving around a cart in the morning.
I can tell you one thing they haven't changed, though, here is the amount of carts that are out there, because there are plenty of – I think they need to double up sometimes and triple up, because it seems like each person does have a cart. But I'm so excited to even read on social media the responses from these players, the greatest players in the world, and what they're saying about Memphis and how excited they're to be here. Henrik Stenson excited to be in Memphis this week for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, on and on and on. You were talking about some of the players you saw walking by. I also saw Tommy Fleetwood on the driving range, and looked like he cut his hair a little bit. It's still long, but maybe did a little bit to it before he came here. And then as I approached the hub, and for folks who have not heard, who don't know, the hub is closer to 18 tee box. Remember, it used to be behind the driving range. They made the driving range a lot longer for these bombers, and so we're down toward the 18 tee box. Anyway, I'm walking up 18, and there's a guy out there ready to hit his approach shot, and he's got his caddy, and he's got a couple of other guys with him, but it was only the one golfer. And so I stopped and looked and realized it was Brooks Koepka. They don't have the signs or anything like that, but it's pretty easy to tell who Brooks Koepka is. So I'm watching, and I was guessing about 165 or thereabouts for his approach. And he swung so easy, effortlessly. I'm assuming probably a 9-iron for him, 5 feet from the hole. And that's the quality of player. And Brooks has played here a number of times. And he's had success here in Memphis.
Like 5 straight years.
Yeah, so people talk about how he only cares about the majors and only plays well at the majors. He plays well in Memphis, and certainly is a guy to be reckoned with this week. But before we do anything, certainly want to thank all our terrific sponsors for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Our title sponsor is Landers Ford. Landers Ford, a big part of why we're out here, why we're able to bring you this wall-to-wall coverage of the tournament. But also, Half Shell, Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, Blue City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grozani's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center. Thanks to all our terrific sponsors. First Bank, of course, is also a sponsor of the First Bank text line at 67129. You can always hit us up via text, or the First Bank phone line, or I should say, and the First Bank phone line. You can hit us up on the phone lines as well at 360-8255, and then there's all different ways to hit us up via social media. So make sure, if you'd like to converse with us, please feel free to do so. We'll have a number of guests throughout the week, but we always love to hear from you. All right, so reading the pairings that came out yesterday, Eli, after our show, seeing some of these trios just got you even more excited. So why don't you rattle off a few of the top names and the top trios that people will come out and see, and when they can see them and where they can see them tomorrow and Friday in the first 2 rounds.
Well, again, I'll remind folks, the first tee time is not till 11:20. So it's not what we're used to. I mean, they used to tee off at 7 a.m. first tee time. 11:20 will be the first tee time tomorrow and Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, they'll move that up about an hour. So Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be about 10:20 is when they hit the golf course for the first groupings of the day. The premier group, one of the main featured groups of the first 2 rounds, is going to go at 12:59 off the first tee tomorrow. They go at 11:53 off the 10th tee on Friday. That would be Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, and Jason Day. That's a pretty good group.
I think I'll skip that one.
Right in front of them, both days, at 12:48 tomorrow off T1 and 11:42 on Friday off T10, is Justin Rose, Matt Kuchar, and Jordan Spieth. So back-to-back pretty premier groups right there that are going to be going off just before 1 o'clock tomorrow and just before noon on Friday. Some of the other groupings that are out there, 12:04 tomorrow off the first tee, or off the 10th tee rather, and 12:59 on Friday off number 1. You've got Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, and Paul Casey. Just ahead of them both days, you've got Gary Woodland, the U.S. Open champion, with John Rahm and Xander Schauffele. Some of the other groups that are going to be out there, of course, Brandt Snedeker, who's got some Tennessee ties, the Nashvilleian. He's going to be playing with Cameron Smith and Louis Oosthuizen. He goes off number 10 at 11:42 tomorrow, 12:37 off 1 on Friday. Tommy Fleetwood will be playing with Patrick Cantlay and Mark Leishman. They're just ahead of that Brandt Snedeker group both days. Phil Mickelson is going to be paired with Torbjorn Olesen and Hatong Lee. He goes off at number 1 at 12:04 tomorrow. He'll go off 12:59 off number 10 on Friday. Right in front of them will be Hideki Matsuyama, Tony Finau, and Matt Wallace. Bubba Watson, Adam Scott are playing together with C.T. Pan. They're at 11:42 off number 1 tomorrow. But that's the thing. I mean, you go through these groups, and like every group is a premier group, but the featured groups are that McIlroy, Koepka Day group, Rose, Kuchar, and Spieth, along with Casey, Dustin Johnson, and Justin Thomas.
Many times in the past, even though the FedEx St. Jude Classic was a terrific tournament and the people involved in putting it together have done an amazing job over the years, for fans, it was follow DJ or maybe follow Phil or maybe a couple of other guys, and there wasn't really a problem in scheduling. Okay, he's going to be over here at 16, then we'll go over here to... Now it's going to blow your mind because you can't be in 20 places at one time. So you have to figure out, do you want to be stationary on one hole and watch them come through? Do you want to walk around? Who would you guess will have the biggest following on the course?
Well, that group of Koepka, McIlroy, Day will be the biggest group, I would think. But DJ and Justin Thomas, Paul Casey, that'll be a big grouping as well.
There's a lot of Spieth fans out there too,
and a lot of people love Phil here, so I'm sure Phil will have his, and that Spieth group will get there. But I mean, that's the thing. Like with this type of field, it's a lot easier. You could go position yourself on a hole and watch 3, 4, 5 groups come through because you're going to see great players. It's not like you're going to sit there, you're going to watch a good group come through, and then you're going to watch 3 groups of guys you don't really know. Like
exactly.
Every group coming through is going to have somebody that you probably want to watch. So you go out and get ahead of that McIlroy group. You could watch Matthew Wolff, who, of course, just got the win, the young star who hits it 1.5 miles with Ian Poulter and Corey Connors come through. Then it's Rose, Kuchar, and Spieth. Then it's McIlroy, Koepka, and Day. Then it's Kisner, Reed, and Biergaard. And then you could go, okay, well, now let's go a few holes ahead, and we'll watch all these same groups, or we'll go to a different part of the course, and we'll catch those 3 or 4 groups coming through.
Yeah, there's a little strategizing going on. We want to remind everybody that even though we've started our coverage of the event, we are still giving away tickets, giving you chances to win tickets to come out here later this week. We got a couple of things happening away from the shows that we need to tell you about.
Yeah, tomorrow we've got a couple of things going on over at Edwin Watts from noon to 1. Going to be giving away some tickets there. And then at East End Grill with our friends from Miller Lite tomorrow from 4 until 6. Going to be giving away tickets there as well. So we've got a couple of opportunities for you to win some tickets, and may even have a little opportunity today for you to win some tickets as well.
All right, couple of things I wanted to touch on here in this first segment before we bring on Kermit Davis at 10:25 that has nothing to do with the tournament. But one thing has to do with golf, because while this is going on today here at TPC Southwind, practice rounds for the players, warming up, getting ready for tomorrow, they still have the Danny Thomas Celebrity Am. It's not the Pro-Am anymore. It's not a pro and a bunch of celebs and a bunch of regular Joes. It's celebrities and regular Joes, and they're playing over at beautiful Spring Creek Ranch. But the Danny Thomas name will live in infamy, as everybody knows, in his connection, the creator of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. But the celebrities we talked about yesterday on the show are there. J.R. Smith is there, and he's wearing a shirt at last report. Terrell Owens is there. And, of course, from the University of Memphis, Penny Hardaway, the men's basketball coach, and Mike Norvell, the football coach, all there today at the Danny Thomas Celebrity Am at Spring Creek Ranch. Now, that segues very nicely into my next story about the University of Memphis, and this is huge for Memphis. Look, understand that Memphis and schools of their size and where they are positioned as far as in the American Conference, not going to bring in the type of money that schools in the SEC and the Big 12 and the ACC, we understand that. But you hope that donors will step up as best they can. And the University of Memphis Athletic Department announcing this morning that a $13 million commitment to athletics has been given through the establishment of the Gary W. and Barbara Bryant Family Trusts. This gift from Gary W. and Barbara Bryant is the largest commitment in Memphis athletics history and the second largest gift in University of Memphis history. The Bill Laurie $10 million donation to help fund the Laurie Walton basketball facility was number one, now number two. This is $13 million. And when you consider how much they bring in normally, they do a great job trying to raise money, but with the television contract, and it pales in comparison to the big conferences. So to get $13 million to go into the athletic department budget is huge.
Yeah, that's what you know. It's great to have folks like that willing to step up and donate things. That amount of money. I don't care how much money you possibly have in your life, to just give somebody to give a university $13 million. That is awesome. Like that is an amazing gift to give to a university or to anything. That is absolutely fantastic.
From the world of college football, the Pac-12 preseason media poll is out. Of course, the Pac-12 has been the most disappointing Power 5 conference over the last several years. Here's what the media believe will happen. In the North, they got Oregon to win it, followed by Washington, Stanford, Washington State, Cal, and Oregon State. I think it will be a nice little battle between what Oregon has put together with Justin Herbert, Washington and Chris Peterson's team. Stanford expected to improve, and you never count out a Mike Leach coach team that they could pull some upsets. In the South, Utah seems to be the chic pick in the Pac-12, Eli. USC second, then Arizona and UCLA tied for third. You figure they'll improve, UCLA under Chip Kelly, but they got some a ways to go getting a couple of more recruiting classes in. Then Arizona fifth and Colorado sixth. For the kit and caboodle, the Pac-12 champion, they got Utah with 12 votes, Oregon 11, Washington 9. So that's how close the media believes it will be. USC got 2 and Washington State got 1. Any thoughts on that?
I think Utah has certainly a chance. But Oregon, I mean, with Justin Herbert, like you've got what many people will think is could be the number one overall draft pick. I know Tua and all these others, but one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So Oregon, if you've got that type of level of quarterback, you should be able to compete.
And what a surprise it was that Justin Herbert said no to the NFL and decided to stay for another year, a final year at Oregon. From the world of baseball, Matt Carpenter's on a rehab stint with the Redbirds. He played with the Birds last night, went 0 for 2, had a walk and a run scored, and I imagine he'll be with the team with the Redbirds the next couple of days. A quick 3-game series for the Redbirds before they hit the road again. But Matt Carpenter trying to get in good shape. And as our producer extraordinaire Austin Eldridge said on Twitter yesterday, what's that, 7 of 9 now for the Cardinals as they won again?
7 of 9 and 9 of 11, so they're on a roll right now.
And you made the point that they're doing it with a bunch of guys on the injured list.
Yeah, they haven't had Carpenter, Yachty, or Ozuna in the lineup for this streak, and it's been picked up by Edman Munoz, and wow, just blanked out on who I said. Who's the third guy? Matt Wieters.
Matt Wieters of all
those three
people,
guys
right?
have really stepped it up, and Wieters is throwing people out. He's backing up Yachty very well right now, and honestly, with Edman the way he's playing right now, and Munoz, I don't mind keeping them in the lineup right now, even when those other guys come back. Yeah,
those first two you mentioned playing in Memphis, and now you have a guy like Matt Wieters, a journeyman catcher, stepping up and replacing Molina and doing a nice job. So Cardinals playing well. We'll see what happens.
We'll find out what they're made of this weekend. The Astros and Cubs back-to-back series coming up after this Pirates series. We'll see what they're made of then.
Wow, that's a tough 2 games or two opponents, but also the trade deadline coming up on the 31st. So we're a week away from the trade deadline to see what teams are going to be making moves to try to enhance their postseason chances. Do want to tell you about our first hour sponsor of the program, and that's Davis Motor Home Mart. We can't thank them enough for being a part of our program each and every day. Over 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motor homes, fifth wheels, and toy haulers, towable half tons. They have motor homes from 27 feet up to 45 feet in length, and of course, the brands, all the top names: Winnebago, Coachman, Puma, Highland Ridge, Tiffin. They are a top 10 Tiffin dealer in the entire United States. So if that's the brand you like, boy, you need to go to Davis Motorhome Mart. But again, they have variety. They have all the top name brands, and you're going to get great deals. They have customers that come from all over the country, that come from Canada, that come to Memphis to buy a motorhome from Davis Motorhome Mart. This is a family-owned and operated business. So if you're thinking about it down the line, want to check it out, see what it's all about, just stop by 1145 East Brooks Road. You can check them out online at davismotorhome.com or give them a call at 901-332-3414, 901-332-3414. When you do, tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. They've got a big blowout sale going on right now on all the brand-new 2019s because they need to make room for the 2020s. It's Davis Motorhome Mart. We'll take our first time out from the hub at TPC Southwind. Continuing coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Check out Dave Voloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time. Weekdays from 3 till 6 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Thinking about building a home? Perhaps a renovation you want done right. Whatever your plans, contact Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Ken understands it's a big decision. That's why he works closely with his clients, ensuring they get exactly what they want and expect. Quality construction, on time, and on budget. For 2 generations, Ken Garland Home Builders has been building and renovating fine custom homes all across the Mid-South. Nothing is finished until everything is right. Call 901-751-1632. Online at kengarland.com.
For the World Golf Championship FedEx St. Jude Invitational, Landers Ford in Collierville has supplied 200 new Fords for the pros to drive. 120 new 2019 Ford Expedition XLT EcoBooster now demo priced up to $15,000 off MSRP. Don Kitchens, tell us more.
A portion of the proceeds goes directly to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Visit LandersMemphis.com.
VIN number 1MFMJU 1HT7KE A06845 MSRP 61250. Offer includes 9780 and Ford rebates and 5220 dealer discount. Sale price 46520. Vehicle subject to prior sale. Price plus tax title license and 499.50 processing fee. Offer in 73119.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Hey, this is Peter Edmiston from the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Come join me at Edwin Watts Golf on Thursday from 12 to 1 as we celebrate the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And I want to give you tickets. Come by and putt on that beautiful green inside the beautiful building over at Edwin Watts Golf. We've got putters, we got balls, all of it for you, and you just got to sink a putt, and that'll get you an extra entry, but you get one for even coming on out and seeing me. Poplar and Perkins, Edwin Watts Golf, giving tickets away on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motor Home Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Well, from Davis Motor Home Mart, we'll go to Kermit Davis in just a few moments. I don't believe any relation, but we could always check on that. Kermit Davis, the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels men's basketball team. He'll be a part of Ole Miss Night tomorrow night at AutoZone Park. The Redbirds in action, and Kermit will be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch before the game. So if you want to see Kermit do that, be in your seats no later than 6:45, and then Coach Davis is scheduled to do a meet and greet with fans afterwards until approximately 8 o'clock. They got specialty ticket options, $20 field box tickets, 23 dugout tickets, 27 club-level tickets. The game ticket and a Redbirds cooler you get. On the day of the game, you'll pick up the cooler at a specialty ticket table behind Section 119. But the gates will open at 6. The game begins at 7:05. And Kermit Davis, a big night tomorrow night here for Ole Miss, and the Rebels being honored by the Memphis Redbirds. We are very pleased to be joined by the aforementioned head coach of the Ole Miss men's basketball team. That is Kermit Davis. You can follow him on Twitter at Rebel Coach Davis. Kermit, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing fabulous. Have you ever thrown out a first pitch for any event before?
I have. It's probably maybe my fourth or fifth one. I've had a couple ones I'd like to forget. A couple's okay, so it'll be kind of a mixed bag tomorrow night. I used to be an old high school pitcher, but that left me at about 1978. So I've got kind of a cold arm out there.
Are you trying to drop a curveball? Are you throwing a knuckleball? Just straight fastball? What are you doing, Kermit?
Well, when I was at Starkville High School, the only way I could ever get a guy out was throw a curveball because I couldn't throw it hard enough. So I don't think I'm going to try to snap one off. I'm going to try to kind of maybe go from the stretch and get that thing maybe not in the dirt. That's my goal.
I thought maybe you would be over with Mike Bianco today, getting some work in, getting prepared for this.
If I wasn't, I'm in Houston right now recruiting. I promise you, if I wasn't, I'd be right over there with Mike, and I'd throw a few. So I'm going to come in really cold, I promise you that.
Let's talk a little bit about the off season, recruiting, all the other stuff that's been going on. I know you guys coming off that first year at Ole Miss, which was a very successful one with a berth in the NCAA tournament. You got to be excited about what's going on there, and a lot coming back. And then you've also got some good recruits coming in.
Well, it is. You know, it was a good off season, and I was really proud of our staff. I thought we finished recruiting in a good way in the spring and really added an inside presence in Hadeem Sy. A lot of people thought was the best junior college player in the country as a big, and so that really helped us. Had some young guys come in the summer and are making progress. And then, like you said, you know, we have 4 of our top 6 leading scorers coming back. So we have a veteran backcourt and a guy named, KJ Buffin and Blake Henson, 2 6'7" freshmen last year that played quite a bit. So a lot of work ahead of us, but really are excited. I think our fan base is extremely excited. Season ticket sales are going at a great pace, and hope that'll keep up.
It seemed from the outside looking in that you made that transition from MTSU to Ole Miss pretty easy, and as Eli alluded to, the success of the team in your first year. Was it as easy as it looked? It couldn't have been, right?
Well, I told him in my interview process, I grew up in Mississippi. And I said, I probably don't need to be the coach at Rhode Island or Seton Hall. But I said, in Mississippi, I can connect the dots pretty quick. And I don't say that egotistically. I just say that's kind of where I'm from. I understand the climate there. I knew a lot of the Ole Miss people. from a recruiting standpoint. And then I was familiar with the team because I played against Ole Miss for the last 2 years. And so I thought that helped me connect with some of those returning players. And it was a good transition. It just not every day was an easy day, but I thought our guys bought into kind of how we were trying to go about things from a practice standpoint and a culture standpoint. And so, and then the fan base connected with our team really early, which that helped a lot.
You talk about adding the Kadeem Sy at the end of recruiting. Could you kind of just give us a brief overview? I know you got Antavian Collum here out of Memphis, but some of the other recruits that you do have coming in for this year and kind of what your expectations are of those.
Yeah, Dude McCullum, who had a great year at Bartlett, was running up Mr. Basketball to James Wiseman, obviously at Memphis, and Dude has come in and worked awfully hard. And but like a lot of freshmen, still making that transition. Austin Crowley was at Sunrise Christian, but he's from West Point, Mississippi. Really, really good player. He's going to have a chance to play immediately. We signed a junior college guard, Bryce Williams, very athletic and fast in November, and he was a teammate of Adeem Sy. And then we've got Sammy Hunter, who's a 6'9", 230-pound freshman, who we think's really got a chance. He's not on campus yet. We hope to get him here in August. And, so we do. We like those guys. We're going to look and feel more like an SEC team as far as length and athleticism and depth. And 6 new guys, so those guys have to come in and play.
Kermit Davis joining us, the head men's basketball coach at Ole Miss. You can follow him on Twitter at Rebel Coach Davis. You were talking about at the beginning that you're in Houston, you're doing some recruiting. The whole recruiting rule changes as far as the AAU circuit, the tournaments. It just seems to be all jammed into a short time period. Every coach we have spoken to doesn't seem to like it. What are your thoughts on it, Kermit?
No, I really think we've got to give it time. I really do. Now we've been gone more than we've ever been gone in recruiting. We've never been out on the road in June. And so, we did USA basketball in June. And then June was kind of the month of the high school associations around the country, whether it be, Tennessee or Mississippi. So we went to elite camps sponsored by the high school association and team camps sponsored by the high school association. Then the first period in July was exclusively really for the 3 brands, Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas. And we did that in that first period in July. And now this period is totally run by the NCAA. And it's 6 sites around the country. So it is a different format. And what I have seen is a lot of the players that we're recruiting opted not to play in this session here. And so, we've got like a 6-day period, and it's just maybe 3 or 4 or 5 guys almost that we're recruiting is out in this period of time. And so I'll be in Houston, and then we're going out to USA basketball in Colorado Springs toward the end of the week.
I know you, and I guess this probably helps with recruiting too. You got to be happy although Terrence Davis didn't get drafted, does get the contract with the Toronto Raptors, and I get when you got players coming out of your program and getting NBA contracts, I guess that has to help, right?
It helps a bunch, and and TD turned down a couple second-round opportunities because he didn't want to sign a 2-way deal, and it's been documented. He bet on himself, and in a day of transfer portals and guys just, trying to have instant success. Terrence Davis averaged 1 point a game as a freshman and was a Mississippi kid that didn't look around trying to blame everybody. He just went right back to work and had a really good sophomore year under AK, and then he really made a bunch of improvement this past year. And he played in that summer league 1 game and just played tremendous. And I was eating with TD in Vegas, and his agent came up to him, and that's when he told him about his deal with Toronto. Went the next day, signed his deal. So what a great story for especially a senior and a guy that, really meant a lot to Ole Miss basketball.
Kermit, what about your schedule for 1920? Obviously, you got Memphis. You're heading to Brooklyn. You'll host host Butler, I should say. You're at Wichita State. What do you think about the non-conference portion of your schedule?
I really like it. I think we all have to schedule according to what the committee wants to look at in March, and that's to play a really challenging schedule, a lot of opportunities. And you're right, we've got Butler at home, then we go to Memphis, to Wichita, We play in the preseason IT, open up with Penn State, either play Syracuse or Oklahoma State, and then we think we've got some really good mid-major teams on our schedule that when people look at them in March, obviously for sure could be some possible NCAA tournament teams. And then, you put that SEC schedule right in front, and it really is, I don't know, it's probably the most, I know everybody looks at their schedule, but it may be the most difficult SEC schedule because of first 4 out of 6 on the road, and the teams we play twice, LSU, Florida, Mississippi State, Auburn. So it's going to be at Tennessee, at Kentucky. And so it is. A lot of great opportunities, but it's going to challenge us in a big way.
So we, Coach, we're out here broadcasting live at the World Golf Championship, the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. How's your golf game?
It's the worst it's ever been. And I've got no excuse because I also played on the high school golf team. I wasn't very good at that either, but I played my whole life. I don't know. I live on a golf course in Oxford, a beautiful place, and I got no idea off the tee. Whether it's both sides are in play, man. And when both sides are in play off the tee, you're in bad shape. From that time, I have to kind of get through this summer. Then next spring, I got to get it right.
Yeah, the two-way miss is not a good thing at all.
But I don't know this for sure. Go ahead, Kermit.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we lost you there for a second. I was going to say, I don't know. I can't speak for all the fans, but I'm going to guess that when the fans hear any coach saying that their golf game is struggling, they're probably happy. It means they probably think that they're working so hard on recruiting and getting the team ready that they don't have the time to play golf. So it's probably a positive thing there.
See, that's at least you got that built-in excuse, Coach. You could just always say my game's terrible, but I've just been working hard on the recruiting trail. I don't have time for golf.
No, I haven't played a whole bunch, but I should be better than what I'm playing. I promise you that. So I got to try to get my game corrected.
Hey, Kermit, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about the situation with your AD. Obviously, Ross moves on to Texas A&M, and you have a guy who is one of the best players that ever played basketball at Ole Miss, Keith Carter, running the show, at least for the time being. What has that been like to lose the AD working right now with an interim, but he happens to be a basketball guy?
Yeah, obviously Ross has meant a lot to me, and I've known Ross. We developed a great relationship in the year, and when we hated to see Ross go, but was happy if that's what he thought was the best for his family, and he thought it was a great opportunity. And but then, what I've been so impressed with Keith is Keith just hadn't really taken on the interim AD. He has taken on being the AD for now and fundraising and moving things forward, and has made decisions with the season ticket sales. We're doing a kind of a project in our building right now at the TUI Center, and so he's pushing right ahead. And so Keith was a big part of me coming, and obviously being such a great basketball guy and a good Ole Miss guy. I know he's really doing some positive things right now.
Before we let you go, too, Coach, I know you're on the road. I don't know how long you've been on the road, but we just want to send our best to all the folks at Ole Miss with the tragedy over the weekend that happened down there with the Ole Miss students. Certainly, I know it's a tough time for the entire Ole Miss family, and so we certainly want to send our best to all the Ole Miss folks out there.
Well, I sure appreciate it, and the same from the basketball staff. And I've got 2 daughters, and so you got to get cold chills when you think about that, and Ole Miss has such a reputation of being a family and a safe campus, and so the hearts go out to the family and to everybody involved.
And again, tomorrow night, it's Ole Miss night at AutoZone Park in Memphis. Redbirds in action, and Kermit Davis in action at 6:45, going to throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, so be in your seats to watch that happen. And then, of course, Coach Davis, as I mentioned, we'll have a little meet-and-greet time for fans until approximately 8 o'clock. So it should be a fun night tomorrow night in Memphis when Kermit comes back and when the Ole Miss will be under the spotlight, or in the spotlight, I should say, at AutoZone Park. Kermit, thank you as always. We appreciate it. Safe travels.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
So we played basketball, baseball, golf. Wonder if he somehow was one of those rare 4-sport guys. If he played football, too, in high school. Sometimes those things happen. Which I still figure out, how the hell are kids able to do that?
Back in the day, yeah, a lot of that stuff. People played a lot of different sports. If you were good enough, they figured out a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
Now they want kids to play one sport.
No, it's a whole different ballgame. But somehow they were able to play. They lettered in 4 sports. I'm thinking, wait a minute, it's baseball season, it's football season in the fall, then it's basketball season in the winter, then it's baseball season in the spring. So how the hell did they get a fourth one in?
Depending on what state you grow up in, there are in Iowa, baseball is a summer sport.
Oh, really? For high school in the summer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not exactly easy to play baseball in the spring in Iowa, so they have to wait till summer. So you could play 4 sports easily.
Oh, easily.
In states like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want to remind everybody that we are here at the Hub at TPC Southland, which is, again, closer to 18 T-Box this year. It's reconfigured, a lot of new additions, all positive additions here to TPC Southland for the golf tournament. So if you come by, stop by the Hub and say hello. We're broadcasting till 6 o'clock today. Then tomorrow again, 10 to 6. Friday, 10 to 6 as well.
And the thing with the Hub, too, and if you're walking from 18 green out down the fairway, basically, it is the big tent on the right as you look at it. You've got the pavilion, which is the other one. That's on the left. And then the Hub is next to it on the right. Again, this is as you're looking back down the fairway from the green. But this year with the Hub, they got a lot of different activities. The AutoZone fan experience in here. They've got stuff for the kids to do. They've got some video games. They've got all kinds of different activities in here for you to take part in. And the Hub, it's completely air conditioned too. So I know the weather, you may not need air conditioning as bad this year as you have in many years past, but it's fully air conditioned. It's like chilly in here almost at times. So it's a great place to come. They've got McAllister's Deli. They've got a bar. They've got food, drinks. They've got an opportunity for you to get involved in a lot of different activities, win some prizes, and again, just cool down and have a nice place to sit and rest for a little bit is the Hub here. And it's completely open to the public here right along between the 18th tee box basically and the fairway, or just at the start of the fairway on number 18.
And again, I want to thank all our great sponsors for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, our title sponsor, Landers Ford. Also the Half Shell, Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, Blue City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grisani's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center. We'll take a break, come back with more Middays, live from the Hub at TPC Southwind, continuing coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
From Penny, the Tiger player.
I think it's just every Hardaway this and every Hardaway that, but we have just more than one player on the team.
Through Penny, the Tiger coach.
Well, I think the main game plan is we can teach you. We're going to develop you. We're going to get you better.
For over 25 years, we have been real sports talk for Memphis in the Mid-South. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
No matter what your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another deal and were turned down, Sunrise Buick GMC can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over $5 million in used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The blowout sale going on now at all Sunrise locations, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
We're with Daryl, and I understand a couple of years ago you couldn't walk. What happened?
I suffered literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have what they call extreme osteoarthritis in both knees. I have bone spurs in the front of my knees, bone spurs in the back, as well as calcium deposits, which contribute to the decreased range of motion. I had a severe limp, especially on my right side, because I couldn't put any real weight on my right knee. So I started investigating options to relieve the pain. And of course, I knew about total knee replacements and Synvisc injections, cortisone injections. So I found Dr. Schrader online, and we had a consult, and stem cell injections literally changed my life.
When did you know you were better?
I literally limped in there, had the procedure done, and you wait about 30 minutes after it's done, and I literally walked out. I did not limp. I was pain-free. It was that immediate.
Call 901-465-4300 and see how Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell can help you today.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Is your air conditioning system ready for the hot Memphis summer? Good news, it's spring cleaning time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your air conditioning system for only $69. Did you know the number one cause of air conditioning system breakdown is dirt? A dirty air conditioning system can literally starve the life from your home's cooling system, causing untimely breakdowns, higher utility costs, and even premature equipment failure. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system, making sure you're ready for the hot Memphis summer, all for only $69. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash. Plus, right now, we'll treat your air conditioner with a special Teflon coating to help protect against the hot Memphis sun. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511, and call this week and we'll perform your super tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. If you're in need of a roof, there's no better place to start than Five Ash Roofing. No matter what your situation is, we have you covered. We can walk you through the insurance process without committing fraud like many of my competitors. You'd be surprised how many times salesmen and contractors will manufacture storm damage just so they can get a sale. We do residential, multifamily, and commercial work. We're certified in every form of roofing we offer. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingle, and we don't charge extra for that. And to my knowledge, there's no other roofing company in Memphis offering that level of security. And if that's not enough, we offer a best price guarantee. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour is also brought to you by Davis Motorhome Mart. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here, live out of TPC Southwind in the Hub. It's the day before. It is the eve, the official eve of the World Golf Championship FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Today, practice rounds going on. Some of the guys will be out there practicing. Others may not. They may have already played a practice round yesterday. They won't even hit the course. They'll just stay on the range and the putting green. It's kind of hit or miss today. There's no official schedule for anybody. They just kind of do what they want to do. Some guys got out early and played some. Others, I know when I got here, Justin Thomas and a couple other guys were teeing off over on number 1. Here's what I'm going to do, though. If you want to come out today and just check out the place, see the guys, all that stuff, you don't have tickets. I've got 2 tickets for somebody, and all you got to do is, well, I'll tell you how to win them here in just a second. And then I will send the tickets to you electronically, and all you can do is be able to claim them, and you can head on out here. So you don't have to pick them up anywhere. They'll be coming straight to your phone or computer or whatever you want to get them on. But here's what we'll do. Caller number 5 right now. Caller number 5, 360-8255. Caller number 5, 360-8255. I'll send you 2 tickets to come on out here today. Check out the action, see what's going on, kind of get a lay of the area, figure all the things out for the World Golf Championship FedEx St. Jude Invitational. So you want a couple of tickets to come on out here today? Be caller number 5, 360-8255. The First Bank phone lines, and we'll hook you up with 2 tickets to come out here today.
I know it's hard to quantify how much of an advantage, if you believe it is an advantage, but I'll ask you, guys who have played the course, that have played a tournament, compared to a lot of first-timers that will be playing TPC Southwind. Obviously, they'll have a practice round or 2 under their belt before they hit the course for real tomorrow. How much of an advantage is it if you think it is?
Certainly there is some advantage to it. How much, I don't know. I mean, these guys, if you watch them when they're out there playing practice rounds, like yesterday I was watching Jim Furyk here on number 18. I mean, he's out there. I think he hit like 4 balls off the tee, and then he's out there in the fairway, He's marking every single spot out there. I mean, they're pretty methodical in a lot of this practice round stuff of figuring out, okay, here's exactly where I want to be. This is where I need to be off this tee. What club do I need to hit here? How far is it? All of that stuff. But anytime you've played a course in tournament conditions when other guys have not, especially if you've played it, a couple different times, a couple different years, you got 6-8 rounds under your belt at a golf course, that has to help. I mean, just knowing some of the pin positions that they're going to use was probably going to help. There are certain putts out here that are tricky. Some of these greens can be hard to read at times. Just having that type of experience is huge.
Are you surprised at all? Because you watch a lot of golf, so some courses have more water than TPC Southwind. There's a number that has less. Are you surprised at all that Memphis is number one on tour as far as balls going in the drink?
No, I mean, because if you just think about this golf course, there is water in play on just such a high number of shots. I mean, it is, you just think about it. I mean, the back nine alone, I mean, you start with, you could hit it on 10 if you hit it too far off the tee box, but these guys pretty much know there. But obviously 11's going to get a lot of, 12 gets a ton. I mean, you got water the entire right side of number 12.
12's tough.
And then if you go long over the green on 12, you go into the ditch, the water back there. 15, you got the ditch there. 17, you've got the ditch there. 18, of course, what it is. I mean, and that's first and second shot. Just like 12, it's first and second shot. 18, first and second shot. I mean, there is.
Did you mention 14?
14, obviously, yeah, 14, the water there. I mean, there is, so there's just a lot of shots, especially on the back nine, where water's at play. Number 3 on the front nine, certainly, if you try and go for that at all in 2, anything that misses that green right is falling down into the water. You can hit it, these guys, some of these, if you tried to bomb it off the tee, you can get into the water too.
4, you can go in on 4.
4, obviously, there. I mean, so the front nine, number 9 is a ton. I mean, anything short of the green, if they want to, anytime you put that pin left, anything short is going to trickle back into the water. Now, they have changed the front of that a little bit now compared to what it used to be, but it's still like there is, when you start thinking about how many actual shots the water is in play, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, and number 11, 14, and 18 especially is just a ton of water balls.
But you really need to take advantage of your opening few holes if you're playing off of 1. 1's not a real easy birdie hole, but 2 and 3 are holes that they need to take advantage of. 4, obviously, if they stay away from the agua, they have a chance if they can hit that green in 2 and maybe an eagle putt, but birdie is certainly in play there. So taking advantage of it early if you're starting from the first hole is pivotal.
See, I love number 3 because I think it's just such a high risk reward hole that it certainly is very reachable for these guys. But again, anything right is in the water.
Yeah, and I think I said 4. I meant hole 3, the par 5.
I think it is. I think that is a great hole.
I think it is too.
And it's one of those. It's a hole that, because it's kind of so far out there, especially the green is so far away from the clubhouse and everything else. You don't get a ton of people that go out there and watch it, but it's a great hole because you could see anything from eagle to double bogey because guys start hitting the water there. It becomes a very difficult hole. And that thing too, that fairway, everything. I've hit many shots that you think are not going in the water that just find a way into the water, especially if it gets firm and fast out here over the weekend.
And you don't have to bail out to the left. If you yank it a little left, really trying to stay away from that water, you're in the hills. Maybe if you go over the hill, you're going towards hole number 4. But you're absolutely right. As far as a vantage point for fans, there really isn't there. There's really nowhere to stand, to be honest with you. So it's a great hole that a lot of people don't get to see.
Yeah, I mean, you can go over to you can get over the trees, and I don't know exactly where the ropes are over on the right side there, but yeah, or you could get up on the hill. The thing you can do is get up on the hill between tee box of 4 and green of 3, kind of, and you can watch both of those holes. You can kind of alternate back and forth and watch a lot of golf from there.
So interviews are taking place as we speak over at the media tent, and Justin Thomas went yesterday, but today other big names include Brooks Koepka, who probably is wrapping up right now with his media commitment, And then Justin Rose will take over. This is, again, for media only. 11 o'clock, Justin Rose. This afternoon, Dustin Johnson will meet the media at 3, and then Rory McIlroy at 3:30. And he was so eloquent after coming up just a little short at the Open Championship of making the cut. And I think he has a lot of fans, but he certainly won some more people over with what he said and how humble he was about what happened at the Open Championship. So, Rory's a guy that, look, it was 2 holes that did him in at the Open Championship day 1. He's played here before, and I think that's a guy you got to look out for. We've seen a lot of guys, you and I, at the beginning of their careers. In fact, and those who have been with us have been loyal listeners of Middays for our 15 years, probably remember the one year where we were broadcasting live from TPC Southwind at the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and some guy named Jordan Spieth joined us, who was an amateur, and Phil Cannon gave him the invite. And it's been a while since he's been back. But to have him here, Rory McIlroy, as I mentioned at the beginning of his career, a lot of guys have played here early in their career. Some have come back, some have not. Justin Thomas said yesterday at the presser that because of where it fell on the schedule, it was hard. He wanted to play in Memphis, so he has not played in Memphis. And as a guy you think of, he's definitely played in Memphis. No, he has not. And one of the guys they're certainly promoting as far as one of the faces of this tournament. As many great faces as there are, Justin Thomas was at the big announcement when they first announced that the FedEx St. Jude Classic was changing to the WGC. He was here. We had a chance to talk to him. So, but he's a first-timer playing here in this on this course.
One of the funny things I think that, not because it's new this year, and I don't even think a lot of people even realize it's going on, but is in play a lot this week, because I'm sure a lot of these guys, most of these guys probably are not going to play next week. But this year with the Wyndham Rewards deal, they're the regular season FedEx Cup champion. Whoever finishes the regular season, so after next week, whoever has the most FedEx Cup points gets $2 million. And then it goes down. The top 10 all get money. But Brooks Koepka leads that right now. Rory McIlroy's in third on that right now. Kuchar's in second. But he goes $2 million, $1.5 million, $1.2 million, $1.1 million, $1 million. So, there's another thing on the line that's beyond the 1.8 or whatever you make for winning this tournament. You could very well, if you're one of these top guys, sew up that as well. This could be basically about a $4 million week for you if you win out here.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
I mean, the people don't. That's a new thing. That's one of the new things they added is that Wyndham Rewards. So the leader, the regular season FedEx Points champion, gets $2 million. Second place gets a $1.5 million thing. And again, the top 10 all get paid. So that's another bit of incentive for these guys to be here, and something else they're playing for this week, especially all those guys up there in the top 10, certainly with a win here, could move into first place.
When we come back, we begin hour 2 of the program. Nick Bromberg is going to join us at 11:25. We'd love to hear from you on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. Hit us up on the First Bank text line at 67129, or message us at sports56whbq.com. You can do so all different ways, including Twitter and a lot of other options as far as that's concerned, but all different ways to participate in the program. You want to talk some golf or some other things, we certainly can. Also, I want to get into the top NFL quarterbacks for this upcoming season, as camps are opened in a lot of places, and by week's end, they'll be opened everywhere around the National Football League. This is Middays, live from the hub at TPC Southwind, continuing coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, right here on Sports 56, on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind, July 24th through 28th.
Join me, Justin Thomas, when I defend my title at TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
I think one of the most underrated things about Sweetgrass is the view.
That's so true. I love sitting here enjoying the perfect food and the perfect drinks, watching Cooper Young, easily Memphis's most eclectic neighborhood, pass by these huge windows.
You never know what kind of interesting people are going to pass by.
Plus, you can just enjoy looking at this great neighborhood with all these historic buildings.
But really, it's the people that live here that make it so interesting.
It's everything you want in a special restaurant, unique food and drinks, and unique people walking by.
One more reason why Sweetgrass is our favorite restaurant in Memphis.
The World Golf Championship FedEx St. Jude Invitational, the all-new Landers Ford South in South Haven supplied 200 new Fords for the pros to drive, and they're all being sold with demo prices. 120 new 2019 Ford Expedition XLT EcoBoost up to $15,000 off MSRP.
A portion of the proceeds going to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Visit LandersMemphis.com.
VIN number 1MFMJU 1HT7KE A06845 MSRP 61,250. Offer includes $97.80 and 4 rebates and $52.20 dealer discount. Sale price $46.20. Vehicle subject to prior sale. Price plus tax, title license, and $499.50 processing fee. Offer in 7/31/19.
Hey fellas, this is Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. Many of you may need a birthday gift or an anniversary gift in the near future for that special lady in your life. She may have dropped a hint as to what she wants, or you may be out on an island all on your own without a clue. Whatever the case, you cannot make a mistake coming to Russell Brothers for that gift that tells her how much you care for her. Fine jewelry is never out of style, and at Russell Brothers, we would love to have you come in and see the huge selection of exquisite jewelry gifts that would thrill her beyond words. Diamonds and rubies, sapphires or emeralds, rings or bracelets, earrings, pendants, whatever you can imagine. We are well into our 4th decade of helping Mid-Southerners with all their jewelry needs, and with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, we would love to help you as you make an important decision. Beauty, quality, value, and service. That's what we offer at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Hey, this is Peter Edmiston from the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Come join me at Edwin Watts Golf on Thursday from 12 to 1 as we celebrate the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And I want to give you tickets. Come by and putt on that beautiful green inside the beautiful building over at Edwin Watts Golf. We've got putters, we got balls, all of it for you, and you just got to sink a putt, and that'll get you an extra entry, but you get one for even coming on out and seeing me. Poplar and Perkins, Edwin Watts Golf, giving tickets away on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays, presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, Hour 2 of the program. We are live from the hub at TPC Southwind. The WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational practice rounds going on today. Round 1 tomorrow. And again, we're broadcasting live all day long here on Sports 56 from 10 until 6 today, tomorrow, and Friday. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, on location inside the hub. Austin Eldridge back in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. And, of course, Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how to turn browsers into buyers. Learn how FedEx can help you take your business to the next level. Later on in the hour, we'll hear from Nick Bromberg from Yahoo Sports, talk a little college football and NASCAR with him. We'll have our four-man scramble at 12:30 with Keith Penke and Jay Hasselman. Love to hear from you on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. First Bank text line at 67129. And a big shout-out to all our WGC sponsors, our title sponsor, Landers Ford, along with Half Shell, Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, Blue City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grozzani's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, and Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center. Thanks to all of our great WGC sponsors. By the way, we hope to hear a little bit from the Brooks Koepka interview if we get that chance. Brooks Koepka asked about barbecue. I think it's like automatic. Somebody's going to ask any athlete that comes to Memphis about barbecue. He said he doesn't like barbecue.
So it's not part of his diet.
Well, of course, I was going to go there next. That, yeah, I mean, look at the guy. I don't think he eats a lot of barbecue. Let's be honest, man. I don't know what he eats. And look, barbecue. There are a lot worse things you can eat for your physique, but you can overdo it, overindulge in the barbecue. I'm betting that guy doesn't eat anything bad. He's sculpted like an Adonis, for goodness sakes. And as I mentioned in hour number one, other than Tommy Fleetwood, who I saw on the driving range when I walked out here to the hub, which is close to the tee box at 18 now, closer to the tee box than to the green, I saw Brooks Koepka. And he was with his caddy and a couple of other guys, and he had about a 165-yard shot to the 18th green. And he put it within 5 feet. So, yeah, I think Brooks Koepka, who kind of fired up some people, some media people, when he said that he plays these other tournaments, the non-majors, basically to get ready for the majors. Well, guess what? The majors are done, and these are WGC events. As Jim Furyk said the other day, there are 4 majors, there's the players, and there's the WGC events. And that's the pivotal tournaments that you want to play well in and win. So Brooks Koepka, who has played well here when it was the old FedEx St. Jude Classic, you better believe he's ready to rock and roll and play well here this week.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I mean, he's leading the FedEx thing right now. So he wins this, I mean, he's basically wrapping up $4 million.
My, oh my.
And putting himself into the number 1 spot for the playoffs. So it's there certainly is plenty to play for Brooks Koepka. You know, the thing that stands out to me about being out here today, and I was out here a little bit yesterday, is how weird it is to see these guys in shorts. They look
yes.
like they look different. Like there's guys like Justin Rose. I'm looking on the range and I was like, he looks familiar, but I don't know who that is. And I'm like, that's Justin Rose. And I think it's the shorts. Like the shorts make these guys look different. You're just so accustomed to seeing them in pants that when you see them in shorts, it's almost like foreign. And you're like, I don't know. I don't recognize these guys.
No, you're right.
Tommy Fleetwood, other than the hair, like looking at him in shorts, I'm like, that doesn't look at all like Tommy Fleetwood. I don't know, just for whatever reason, he doesn't look like Tommy Fleetwood, except that I can see the hair.
No, I think you're exactly right. By the way, I mentioned Fleetwood. I think he cut a little bit of that hair, but it's still, you can't, you certainly know it's Tommy Fleetwood. And I knew he was a little bit short, not real short, but a little bit short. And I knew he was skinny as heck. But when you see him on the range, you go, man, he is little. He's a little guy, and he clocks it. It's just... And I still go back to Koepka, who's a big guy, but watching him hit that shot on 18 just effortlessly. Like it was hard, like he hardly swung the club. And that's all you hear about from golf instructors and when you're trying to get better is just swing it easy. The club will do the work. And yet most of us as amateurs, as just Sunday or whatever hackers out there, want to swing it hard as hell. Because you do see a guy like Tiger Woods and some other Rory McIlroy who really gets this big old aggressive swing. But most of the guys have that easy-going swing, and it goes a mile. Okay, I want to talk some football here while we have an opportunity. And before I get into the NFL, I saw this tweet, and I want to see how many you can name. So let me see here. These are teams that have won 8 games or more each season since 2015 in college football. So since 2015, 15, 16, 17, 18, 4 years in a row, getting ready for the 19 season. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are only 15 schools, 15 football programs that have done so. They've won 8 or more the last 4 years. See how many you can name.
Alabama.
You are correct, sir.
Clemson.
Yes.
Ohio State.
Correct.
Has Michigan gotten to 8?
Yes. 4 down, 11 to go.
Let's see, other SEC. 8 wins? Is that counting bowl games too?
It does not say. I'm sorry.
As LSU?
LSU is correct. You are a third of the way there.
Georgia?
That's correct. 6. Couple of big names left. There's a few big names.
Is there any more in the SEC?
There is nobody else in the SEC.
Okay.
So you've named 6.
Move on to the next conference. Oklahoma.
Correct. Up to 7.
Big 12. Others in the Big 12.
Nobody.
I say they're up. Texas is not. Oklahoma State, I don't think has. So I'm going to get out of there. I did Ohio State and Michigan. Wisconsin.
Correct. You're up to 8 and doing very, very well.
Penn State.
Keep going, though. I'll allow you a miss. There's a couple.
ACC.
Tell me you want a hint.
Other than Clemson, I can't imagine. I don't think. Is Virginia Tech?
No, you're on the right path there. Nobody else. You got 8 right now. You're missing a conference that has struggled lately, but they have some in there.
Well, I haven't gone to the Pac-12 yet.
Right.
So let's go. So in the Pac-12, you'd have Washington.
That is not correct.
Oh, wow. Oregon?
That is incorrect.
Stanford?
Correct. One more.
USC hasn't, have they?
No.
Utah?
Nope. I mentioned his name earlier. I don't know if you remember me mentioning his name, that you can't count him out because of that coach. A little wacky, if you will.
Washington State.
You are correct, Austin. Washington State.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Washington State. He's done a real nice job there. So you're at 10. Now you have, let me see, one.
Is there any other Power 5 ones? Notre Dame hasn't because they had the one bad year.
There's one more Power 5. And
what conference is the
It's
other?
the Big Ten. 8 wins in a row, or 8 wins or more last 4 years. There's only 15 teams in Division I.
Michigan State?
No. You love this coach, and I'm being sarcastic.
Iowa?
That's 11. Now you have 4 non-Power 5 schools. One is like a big name.
UCF? How many years are we going back?
You're going back to since the 15th season.
So that would be before their thing. Has Memphis had 8 wins?
Yes.
I don't remember if they got 8 that won the 1 year in there.
The Tigers are one of 15 schools, one of 15 football programs who have won 8 or more every year since 2015. You have 3 more to go.
Boise.
Boise is correct. That's the big name. Now 2 that are going to be tough.
Probably like Sun Belt or something like.
Yeah, 1 in the Sun Belt, 1 in the MAC. And I believe they're in the Sun Belt. They could be in Conference USA. I get those mixed up. I think it's Sun Belt.
Is Northern Illinois the MAC?
No. It's a guy who's a coach I think has been really a good coach for a long time and is sort of underrated. He's old, but he's a good coach.
Ohio?
Yes, Frank Solich. So now you got 1 more to name. And it's a team that hasn't been in Division 1A that long. They pulled off a huge upset. There you go. There's your 15. Good job. You did very, very well. But Memphis, how about that? One of 15 schools. All right, so I put this list together last night, and I wanted to hear what you and Austin have to say about it, what your list would be. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but you can rip apart my list if you want. But starting to get into the NFL mood as camps have opened up throughout the NFL. By the end of the week, all camps will be open in one form or another, whether it's just the rookies or the veterans and the rookies. But these are my top 10 quarterbacks going into the season. This isn't an all-time thing. This isn't a future thing. These are the quarterbacks for this upcoming year. My top 10. In order. Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Tom Brady, number 2. Andrew Luck, number 3. Drew Brees, number 4. Aaron Rodgers, 5. Carson Wentz, 6. Russell Wilson, 7. Ben Roethlisberger, 8. Phillip Rivers, 9. Matt Ryan, 10. Now go ahead and rip me apart, mix them, match them, give me your list, whatever you think. Austin, you want to chime in first?
Ooh, let me. Okay, I agree with you. Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes, no question. Number 2 is Tom Brady, so we agree there. Number 3 for me, I've got Jared Goff.
Oh, I don't even have him in my top 10.
He's just done a heck of a job.
No, he has.
With the Rams. Number 4, I would have Drew Brees.
Okay, I got 4. I got Brees at 4.
Number 5, Rodgers.
Same thing.
6 would be Andrew Luck. I know that's a little low, but they haven't won anything yet, so I really can't put him up there.
Well, again, don't think. Remember, history's not. You take nothing into consideration from history.
Yeah, that's true. Andrew's a great quarterback, so he could honestly be up there. But I'll switch him and Aaron Rodgers. So I'll put Luck at 5, Rodgers at 6.
Okay.
Matt Ryan 7.
So Ryan a little higher than me.
I put Phillip Rivers at 8.
Okay.
Boy, I want to say Derek Carr, but he just hasn't looked very good of late.
The 3 that are on my list that you haven't mentioned yet are Wentz, Wilson, and Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
you only have 2 more spots.
Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson will be those next 2 spots. I can't put Roethlisberger up there right now. I don't really have any confidence in him. So yeah, I'd go Wentz and Wilson.
All right, pretty good list and very similar with the exception that you have Goff in there and I don't have Goff. Eli, what do you think?
Well, the Athletic, Mike Sando from The Athletic did his list of all the quarterbacks. Now he polled 55 coaches and executives, and he ranks the guys into tiers.
And this is just for the upcoming season. This isn't a historical thing or what they've done in their careers.
This is what a tier 1 quarterback can carry his team each week. The team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situations. And his number 1 guy, and again, this is executives and coaches, is Aaron Rodgers. You both have Aaron Rodgers way too low. Aaron Rodgers is at least in the top 3.
Well, I mean, I thought about it, but Mahomes right now, I think, is going to be the hottest quarterback for a number of years to come. How can you go against Brady? I think Luck showed last year that he is ready to lead a team to a Super Bowl, and Breeze just seems to do more than Rodgers. So that's why I got Rodgers at 5. I mean, who you dropping out?
So Andrew Luck showed last year he was able to lead a team to a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers has already led a team to a Super Bowl.
But again, we're looking at like where you think they'll be right now. I think Rodgers is going to the other side of his career. I think he's already hit the pinnacle and he's going the other way. That's why, I mean, I'm not looking at what they've done in their past.
Well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is, to me, 1 or 2 for sure.
Okay, I mean, certainly you can make that argument.
Yeah, you can make the argument for that, no doubt. I put Goff up there because he just led his team to the Super Bowl last year. And then Patrick Mahomes almost did. If it wouldn't have been for a couple of bad breaks, they would have been in the Super Bowl, I feel like, on that side. So,
controversial call.
I think you can make the argument for Rodgers to be up there, but I just like you can't argue against Brady, and I like Breeze too. So I think Breeze is better. So
he's got Tom Brady 2, Drew Brees 3, Patrick Mahomes 4.
4. Wow.
I mean, he has only done it for 1 year.
Yeah, but I saw what he did last year, and he looks like just an absolute phenom. And then I took into consideration, obviously, he still has weapons. I mean, Hunt's gone, but Hill's not going to be suspended, and he's going to play. And of the other weapons he has offensively, what he can do and improvise is pretty amazing.
He has Luck 5, Phillip Rivers 6, Roethlisberger 7, Russell Wilson 8, and that is all of his tier 1. He has 8 guys in tier 1. Tier 2, which is a quarterback can carry his team sometimes, but not as consistently. He can handle pure passing situations in doses and or possesses other dimensions that are special enough to elevate him above tier 3. He has a hole or 2 in his game. He has Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield in that tier.
See, the hole in Wentz's game is his injury. He's injury prone. That's his only hole, I think. I don't know how many holes Matt Ryan has, but he thinks he has a hole. But it's a pretty good list. I mean, I'm not going to argue too much with it.
He has Cam Newton at number 15 overall, which is just ahead of Kirk Cousins, which...
I mean, Newton hadn't been all that great the last couple of seasons, really. I mean, I know he hasn't had a lot of talent around him, but he hasn't been all that good.
He has Cousins at 16, Dak Prescott at 17, Nick Foles 18, Jimmy Garoppolo 19, then Derek Carr at 20, Flacco 21, Andy Dalton 22, Jameis Winston, I guess Dalton and Winston are tied for 22nd. Eli Manning at 24, Mitch Trubisky 25, Marcus Mariota at 26, Sam Darnold at 27, and then you get into Tier 4. He says a Tier 4 quarterback could be an unproven player with some upside or a veteran who is ultimately best suited as a backup. He has Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Case Keenum, and Josh Rosen.
Yeah, I was about to ask about Case Keenum. That's an interesting one. Case Keenum's been quite a story.
So the third tier, I must have missed it. You said Trubisky for the third tier?
Trubisky is in the third tier, number 25.
A guy who
just ahead of Mariota.
A guy who I think is really improving. I think Trubisky, and he has a number of weapons, including Anthony Miller on that team. We'll see this upcoming year because the expectations are higher. But, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We're talking about between the three of us, this guy who you're quoting still have Drew Brees so high along with Tom Brady. And look how old these guys are. Still doing it at the highest level possible.
I missed it, too. Where was Deshaun Watson on that list? I missed it.
On this list, he was, I want to say he was number 12 or something. Let me
Yeah, he was in that second
He's good,
tier.
too, but I couldn't really put him up there
guy.
yet because he hadn't been healthy yet.
He was right behind Matt Stafford. Yeah, he was. Well, actually, he's tied. Yeah, he's behind Stafford, tied for 12th with Jared Goff.
Okay, I know you rattled them all off, but where is Dak and where is Foles?
They were back-to-back here, and you had in Tier 3 right behind Cam Newton, you had Cousins, Dak, Foles.
What happens if
Garoppolo?
What happens if Nick Foles? I know it's a long shot, but what happens if Nick Foles leads the Jaguars into the Super Bowl? Where are we going to look at Nick Foles? I mean, he is going to make a significant jump up the ladder of quarterbacks.
Yeah, if he can, if he plays well and does that, yeah. I don't believe that will happen.
I don't believe so
I don't
either.
believe in Nick Foles, but we shall see.
Well, they have to stay healthy to that team. Leonard Fournette killed him last year getting hurt. Sleepy Z's Mattresses and Furniture by Michael Zellner. You always save 50 to 80% off retail store prices every single day of the week. They carry only top-name brands and mattresses like the Serta iComfort, Simmons Beauty Rest mattress, all different sizes and styles to choose from. They also have the complete line of Serta adjustable bases, and they have a showroom full of furniture from Signature Design by Ashley and Benchcraft. Now, if they don't have what you're looking for on that showroom floor, there's only so much room. They have a kiosk at the store. Just browse through the catalog, hundreds of items to choose from. And pick out what you want. Michael will get it for you at that same discounted price. And when you mention my name or Eli's name or Sports 56 at checkout, you're getting 10% off your entire purchase. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They offer several different financing options with up to 48 months financing available. Located at 2790 Kirby Whitten Road at the corner of Summer Avenue. It's right next door to Hollywood Feed. You can call the store at 901-692-6200. When you do, ask to speak to Michael and tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. Sleepy Z's Mattresses and Furniture by Michael Zellner, where you never wake up on the wrong side of the bed. When we come back, we'll be joined by Nick Bromberg from Yahoo Sports. Talk a little NASCAR for all you motorheads out there and some college football as well. That's when we return to Sports 56 Middays, live today from the Hub at TPC Southwind. Continuing coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Today it's practice rounds going on a beautiful day in Memphis. As you listen to Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Chris, I understand that you had some spine issues that were very debilitating, and Schrader Orthopedic actually changed your life. What happened?
After spinal fusion surgery 24 years ago, I could feel bones rubbing together. I had sciatic issues, arthritis. I had been told I needed another fusion surgery because I was having problems with getting out of bed, walking, carrying my child. Went to Schrader Orthopedics, got the stem cell therapy. It's been a year now. And my life has changed. I get up, I bounce out of bed, I can carry my daughter. I can do yard work. So completely changed. Basically, I forgot the pain I was in prior to that time. I felt like I was in my 20s and was able to do things that I wasn't able to play golf without being in pain for 2 days. Most of it was the neurological benefit of not having that pain every minute of your life.
Call 901-465-4300 and see how Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell can help you today.
Memphis's hometown event is being elevated to one of the biggest events on golf's calendar. The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind July 24th through 28th. Don't miss PGA Tour superstars Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, and more.
Join me, Dustin Johnson, when I return to TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
If you miss the good old days of great Italian food, rejoice, because Chef Judd Grizzani is carrying on the 110-year-old family tradition. A new Ronnie Grizzani's is now open in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway, with lunch 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday, plus a Saturday brunch also from 11 to 2. Live music Wednesday and Thursday nights, an oyster bar with fresh oysters and crab, and an extensive Italian and American wine by the glass list. Don't reminisce about the good old days. Relive them at Ronnie Grizzani's in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway.
WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational is going down this week with the deepest field Memphis has ever seen. So to set it off right, we teamed up with a Memphis tradition like no other. East End Bar and Grill, Miller Coors, and of course, we are inviting all the wonderful people of the Mid-South to come out this Thursday, July 25th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. to East End Bar and Grill to win tickets to the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, plus free swag from Miller Coors and more. And always keep it locked to Sports 56 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays. We are live today from the hub at TPC Southwind, the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Round 1 is tomorrow, but the practice rounds are going on today, guys, on the tee box. Not on the tee box, but at the putting greens and the range, hitting balls, and you can just walk by and see these guys in action. But also, there some of them are playing the course, getting in a practice round. Some have already played this morning. Others will play this afternoon. So your chance to check these guys out before they play for keeps, which is starting tomorrow. And again, you don't have to get up real early, and that's the great thing about having a limited field, but a field that is full of stars, and that's what you have here with no cut at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And don't forget, we're broadcasting live all day long from 10 until 6, today, tomorrow, and on Friday. But time to shift gears a little bit, literally shift some gears. We're going to talk a little NASCAR and college football with our friend Nick Bromberg, who you can follow on Twitter at Nick Bromberg. And, of course, Nick covers both those sports for Yahoo Sports, and we're very pleased to be joined by Nick once again. How are you, Nick?
What's up? How are you? You got to enjoy the golf course life. I covered the PGA last year and had a ton of fun.
Man, oh man, we're so excited. So we go from a really good tournament in the FedEx St. Jude Classic, but we get, Eli, like 6 of the top 50, 8 of the top 50, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, good players. You get Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, and now we got 45 of the top 50. So we're trying to tell our listeners out there, Nick, that for fans, you better have a game plan, because these golfers, the best in the world, are going to be on every hole, and you got to figure out how you're going to watch them.
You got to have the course map, and you got to have the tee time sheet, and you got to say, okay, I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes, and I got to get to this hole. Yeah, you got to plan it out. You got to take at least 15 minutes and plan out your route, because it's going to make the viewing experience 10 times better during the day.
We've also gotten extremely lucky because the weather is like unheard of weather for Memphis this time of year. So it really everything has worked out perfectly for the tournament this week. As we're looking at highs like in the 80s, which normally we're looking at highs and temperature or heat indexes of like 120. So the golfers got really lucky, just like we did for this week. So everything's working out well for Memphis this week.
Yeah, we have the same type of weather here in Kansas City, and dare I say it, it's the weather that makes you think the football season approaching very quickly.
Yeah. It is there. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I want to start with NASCAR, and then we'll talk a little college football with you. We got, I believe, 6 races to go before the playoffs start. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 6 races to go. And it looks like all around NASCAR, the numbers are up as far as people viewing the sport on television. I'm not sure about attendance, but overall, this 2019 season, how's it gone?
It's the plateau of sorts in terms of attendance and viewership. I don't think you're seeing crowds at tracks that are necessarily worse than they were last year. TV ratings are pretty much flat. Some races have been slightly up, but those races have also been countered by races that have had, set all-time viewer lows. But that being said, they were setting all-time viewer lows in some races last year. So there's not precipitous drops where there are drops. And the dominating theme of the season has been those changes that NASCAR has made in terms of going to a lower horsepower, higher downforce car. And NASCAR has said over and over again, they went to a 550 horsepower car instead of basically 800, 900 horsepower that they were at previously to try to get new manufacturers into the series and keep it sustainable for a while. I think that verdict, that reasoning is still way out undetermined at the moment, simply because there have been no outward clear-cut signs outside of NASCAR saying they're having discussions with new manufacturers. That a new manufacturer would want to get into the series. But, you've got a guy, Kevin Harvick, on Sunday who has been very good. He's third in the point standing, but just simply hadn't won a race until Sunday, and that was such a shock to a lot of people because Kevin Harvick won 8 races a year ago.
Is there a way, for NASCAR to kind of have another boom, I guess, or a resurgence, or is it other than finding maybe the next superstar? What can it do to kind of have that next resurgence?
That's the $1 million question, or maybe it's even the $1 billion question when you look at the value of the deal. I think it has to be the gradual rebirth, so to speak. And you've got a series that really did take off in the 5 years after Dale Earnhardt's death, and that's you have to look at NASCAR, unfortunately, within that prism, simply because Earnhardt died in the first race that was on Fox, and it was the first season of the TV deal that saw the most ever races on broadcast TV between Fox and NBC. And so then over the next 5-6 years, NASCAR viewership absolutely spikes. Jeff Gordon was still near his peak because he had won his 4th title in 2001. But now, you have the people who were at the top of NASCAR in the mid-2000s, like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff, Tony Stewart, others. They're now gone. Kevin Harvick's still around, but you have Kyle Busch, who I think is the most polarizing figure in NASCAR, which is a very good thing. And you've got Chase Elliott, who's taken on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s fans and his dad's fans. But, Chase is still young, so there's still plenty of time, but Chase is not that magnetic personality at the moment that Dale Earnhardt Jr. was, because everybody gravitated to him, or Jeff Gordon was, when Jeff Gordon was the jet-setting multinational NASCAR driver that NASCAR really never had before.
See, that's a great point. You lose to retirement Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon and Smoke Stewart and some others. Whose guy did the flips? Subway guy. Carl Edwards, another name. But you still have a guy who's going to be, when it's all said and done, and is considered right now one of the greatest to ever race, and that's Jimmy Johnson. But I look at these numbers, Nick. 3 top 5s, no wins. He's sitting 17th in the points. I know Jimmy Johnson's in great shape. He runs triathlons and all this stuff, but is he getting close to hanging it up?
His contract runs through 2020. I think we're talking about Jimmy Johnson. I don't think Jimmy Johnson was ever going to be the guy that raced until he was 60 years old, like I think Dale Earnhardt would have had 2001 happened, and, guys like Harry Gant and others. So, we'll see what 2021 holds. But you're right. I think Jimmy Johnson, unfortunately for him, we're watching the NASCAR aging curve kind of happen here. A lot of statistical analysis. David Smith, Motorsports Analytics, does a great job. Basically, a NASCAR driver, Cup Series driver, peaks in his late 30s. So basically, 10 years later than a baseball player peaks is when people have figured out that's when a NASCAR driver peaks. The vision's still good, the reflexes are still good, and you have the amassed experience of 10, 12 years racing at the highest level of stock car racing in the United States. As you said, Jimmy Johnson, 43 years old, And I think we have to. It's also a little bit affected by the fact that 2016 championship happened. I think if Jimmy Johnson is the 2016 champion, or not the 2016 champion, and he's only a 6-time champion instead of 7-time champion, we're looking at his decline a little more gradually because we don't have that championship blinding us. Even though he was not the best driver that season, he probably wasn't even the best in that race. He avoided the caution with Carl Edwards and Joey Logano, made a fantastic move. I mean, championship coming through right when it counted the most, goes and ties Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. But ever since then, the slide has looked a lot more dramatic than I think it actually is because he has not won since June of 2017. So if we kind of just blind out the one and done, win it all, 4 guys winning it all, one race championship in 2016, the Jimmy Johnson aging curve would be a little less steep, I think.
How does a guy like Justin Haley win like he did a couple weeks ago?
How many minutes do you have? So basically, what had happened was this is the big conundrum for NASCAR here, and I don't know how you play it over again. It just didn't feel right. Basically, there was a big crash that happened, took out a bunch of the lead cars at Daytona earlier in July. Justin Haley had lost a lap earlier in the race just simply because the car was slow. Lost 19 laps in the race. He ended up getting it back because NASCAR gives a lap back to the top car off the lead lap every caution flag. Anyway, he's on the lead lap when the crash happens. There's still a few cars that are ahead of him in the running order when NASCAR has an 8-lap caution. There's storms around Daytona. There's nothing really approaching Daytona at the moment. There's some stuff north and northeast of it. NASCAR has an 8-mile lightning radius like a lot of other sporting events do. NASCAR says, hey, we're going to go green in 1 lap. So Kurt Busch, the guy leading at the time, and other drivers who were behind Kurt Busch said, hey, we're coming to pit road. We couldn't make it to the end on fuel from where we were. We were waiting this out to see if lightning would strike. It's not going to strike. It didn't strike. We're going to come into the pits because we know this race is going green. Therefore, we can have enough fuel to make it to the finish. In the time that Kurt Busch, the leader, pits, and when he rejoins the field on the backstretch, lightning strikes within that 8-mile radius and puts the race into a 30-minute hold. Because Kurt Busch and others pitted, Justin Haley inherited the race. They go into a 30-minute delay. Another 30-minute delay happens. Some rain happens. And then NASCAR, after waiting a few hours, decides, hey, you know what? We're done. We're calling the race. Justin Haley, who didn't even really lead a lap under green, the only lap he led was under the red flag as the cars were being parked on pit road, is declared the winner simply because they didn't pit. They didn't need to pit. They're one of the worst cars in the field. They didn't have to pit. They didn't need to pit. They got the win. So, long story short, I think you have to look at it in the context of this race in Daytona early July will not be early July next year. It's going to be the last race of the regular season. NASCAR wants to spice up the regular season, into the regular season in 2020. It's hard for me to think that NASCAR would call the race at 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern whenever they did it on that Sunday. If it's the last race of the regular season, I would have to think they would wait it out until 10, 11 o'clock and get all 160 laps in when the track was dry.
Wow, one of the most unlikeliest winners in NASCAR history, I would imagine. That's a wild way.
Very much so.
Yeah, that's a wild finish, but great for him, right? All right, one final NASCAR question. I want to ask you a couple of college football things, but Logano leads by 3 points right now over Kyle. And you look at the standings, you got 2 guys who have won 4 times this year, Kyle and Martin Truex Jr. It's kind of jumbled a bit. We got a ways to go, but I'm going to ask you for the prediction. Who's going to end up winning this thing?
The regular season title, I still think it's going to be Kyle Busch. Even he's had a little bit more speed than Joey Logano has, even though Logano has accrued the stage points more than Kyle Busch and has been really consistent. My championship pick, it's hard to pick against the 18 team right now. They've been the fastest. So I will say it's Kyle Busch, and I think it's going to be some sort of combination of the 5 drivers basically up top of the standings right now. 4 of those 5 between Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski. 4 of those are going to be racing for the title. Kyle Busch wins. 1 of them will be left out.
There you go, Nick Bromberg's prediction. All right, you're in Kansas City, so I guess sort of what, Big 12 country?
Big 12, half Big 12, half SEC. Now that we got Mizzou.
Oh, that's true. All right, so let me ask you about those 2 conferences. So is here's the big thing, because every year we bring it up. Is Texas back? Does Oklahoma get a challenge in the Big 12?
I think we're looking once again at a double Oklahoma-Texas series like we did last year. I don't know necessarily if Texas is back per se to being a national championship contending team. I still think Oklahoma's offense, and if the defense is better, I really like Alex Grinch. I think he's a fantastic hire for the Sooners. You almost have to look at the Oklahoma defense of it can't be worse than it was last year. So if the offense does take a step back, Lincoln Riley says it's not going to, but I think it will just a little bit because, this was the first offense in college football history that had a 4,000-yard passer, 2 1,000-yard rushers, and 2 1,000-yard receivers. We're talking absolutely historic levels of offense. Texas brings back, they got to replace a lot on defense, but Sam Ehlinger quietly becoming one of the better quarterbacks in college football. I'd be hard-pressed to find 10 quarterbacks I would take ahead of him. So Texas is the guy, or is the team, that's going to challenge Oklahoma, and it's not going to surprise me again if they split something like they did last year, where Texas wins the first game, Oklahoma comes back and wins the second.
What is the kind of expectation up there with Missouri? Because there's a lot of people think they could surprise a little bit in the SEC with Kelly Bryant coming in there at quarterback. What are the expectations for Missouri this year?
Don't laugh. 10 wins. I think 10 wins is achievable. I would, if I was forced to pick a number, I would say 9, and wouldn't be surprised with anything between 10-2 and 8-4. And I think 10 wins is an expectation simply because of the way that the schedule falls for Missouri. And you're looking at this also from the prism of the bowl ban. Is this the team that still has no idea? At the moment, they're not going to a bowl game. Maybe the NCAA will hear their appeal and say, hey, you're right, we were overly punitive. You deserve to go to a bowl this year because you guys had nothing to do with what we kind of punished you for. Maybe that doesn't happen. This is the NCAA. We never know. But, Missouri most pivotally draws Arkansas and Ole Miss from the West. They basically got the 2 teams from the West who are not going to be in everybody's preseason top 25 heading into 2019. They got South Carolina at home. They've got Florida at home. You count the Georgia game as a loss. You count the Florida game as a loss, even though they went down and beat the Gators in the swamp last year. Every other game on the schedule, Mizzou should be favored or a pick 'em in that game. So that's why 10-2 is not a big question. So you could have a 10-2 team, best team that's under a bowl ban since that undefeated Ohio State team, or if they do win that appeal, they do get to go to a bowl, and they go 10-2. You're talking about a dark horse contender for a New Year's Six bowl or one of the top tier SEC bowls.
Wow, good for Barry Odom. We know him well here, having been the former DC at the University of Memphis. So seems like he's got the train running in the right direction. He is Nick Bromberg, college football, Yahoo Sports, CFB, that's college football, and NASCAR for Yahoo Sports. And Nick, hopefully we get to talk to you maybe right before the start of the football season, get a little bit more on football with you. But we always appreciate your insight on college football, NASCAR, and all sports. Thank you so much for your time, as always.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, we're going to start counting down next week our top 25 ourselves. So spoiler alert, Texas and Oklahoma both in the top 10.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Nick Bromberg joining us from Yahoo Sports. We'll take another break. When we come back, I believe we'll hear from Brooks Koepka, who had his press conference in the last hour over at the media tent, down 18 and across the way from the clubhouse. We'll hear a few clips from that. We'll wrap up hour 2. And then in hour number 3, Lisa Cornwell from the Golf Channel expected to join us right here at the Hub. Plus our 4-man scramble. We'll make our picks with Keith Penke and Jay Hasselman for this week's WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. We are broadcasting live today from the Hub at TPC Southwind, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Drop the anchor, will you?
Sure, Grandpa.
You tied it off, right?
Tied what off?
The anchor. And the rope that the anchor was attached to.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor.
Oh.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So much for fish for dinner.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
AC trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60, and 24-hour emergency service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
Well, she was an American girl, raised on promises. She couldn't help.
Welcome back here, live at the Hub out at TPC Southwind. It's Wednesday of tournament week. Practice rounds going on today. Then tomorrow it all gets going for real. Get 11:20 first tee time tomorrow and Friday. So it is not an early start. 11:20 is when they will get underway. The final tee time of the day will be at 1:10. So basically 2 hours of tee times, and the entire field will get out there on the golf course. So a lot of action going to be going on. And that's the next 2 days. And then over the weekend, they still use both tees, and they start at about 10:20. So they just move it up about an hour over the weekend. So similar rounds of golf. Short days out here at TPC Southwood for the World Golf Championship FedEx St. Jude Invitational. I want to say once again a big thank you to our sponsors, including Landers Ford, who once again this year is providing the vehicles, the official vehicles of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. They have provided all of the players with a brand new 2019 Expedition. And the great thing is these cars that the players drive and tournament officials and others are driving from Landers Ford, you can get great savings on those after the tournament wraps up. So talk to the folks at Landers Ford or Landers Ford South. 120 brand new Expeditions are demo priced up to $15,000 off. Plus, a portion of the proceeds goes directly to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So it's a win-win for everyone with those great savings you get on those vehicles that they use out here for the FedEx St. Jude Invitational this week, along with Landers Ford, Half Shell, Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center at 9580 Macon Road. If you want to go work on your golf game, you could go out to Vantage Point Golf Center. They've got it all. Over 50 grass spots, a lighted driving range. They've got the Robo Golf Pro Memphis. You could have play a little miniature golf as well. They get an 18-hole mini golf course as well. That's at Vantage Point Golf Center at 9580 Macon Road. Also, Memphis Paints, Blues City Cafe at historic Beale Street. Our friends at Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grisani's Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center as well. Of course, tomorrow at Edwin Watts, we're going to be there from noon until 1, and we're going to be giving away some tickets for the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. So stop by tomorrow between noon and 1 over at Edwin Watts at Poplar and Perkins Extended for your opportunity to win some tickets. Then tomorrow afternoon from 4 until 6 with our friends at Miller Lite, we're going to be over at East End Grill. John Harden's going to be over there. We're going to have some stuff from Miller Lite and other stuff to give away along with tickets for the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. So we've got a lot of opportunities for you and a lot of stuff going on as well, all things surrounding the World Golf Championship.
Got to be honest with you, restrooms are a lot further than they were when the hub was set up the last time because...
Well, if you don't have to go 3 times an hour, it's not that bad.
Well, I'm on this diet now that I started this week, and all I'm doing is drinking water till 6 o'clock.
Well, good luck with that.
I got my dinner, and that's it. But all I'm doing is drinking water, so obviously I ran all over the place to find them, and never got to one.
I haven't had to go, so I don't know. I don't know where they are.
All right, so we want to hear from Brooks Koepka, who was with the media about an hour ago. Of course, Brooks Koepka having another tremendous year, the PGA Championship winner. Couple of things that the media discussed with him, including the state of TPC Southland. How are the conditions out here at TPC Southland? Here's what Brooks Koepka had to say.
Talk a little bit about the state of your game as you come in, and then also your thoughts on this golf course.
I love this place. This place has always been good to me. I feel like I've played really well. I enjoy the golf course. I enjoy Memphis. It's a fun place to come back year after year. So I've enjoyed it. This golf course obviously is with a little bit of rain. It's a little bit softer than it has been in years past. But golf course, is in probably the best shape I've seen it in the last 4 years.
Okay.
So you talked about a little bit softer. It is wet if you walk around some of the.
Yeah, we got a lot of rain the other night, and it's certainly a soft up. But as long as the forecast correct, we don't get any more rain, it will certainly firm up as we go through the week. Now he's had some success here. His real success is the week after the FedEx St. Jude, after he plays at TPC Southwood the last couple of years.
He also talked about some of the strategy on the course. Of course, at 16 is a chance for guys to go for it in 2, try to get an eagle. And this was what he had to say about that.
A minute ago, but it's most likely that the 16th hole this week will be $1 million shootout between you, Jason, and Dustin. Will you approach it any differently? Will you be trying to make the eagles there? Will you have some banter with Jace? Anything like that?
Yeah, probably not any banter. I'm not playing with him, so I can't really talk him through
Jason,
that.
you are in the first 2 rounds.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I haven't seen the draw. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll laugh about it, when it comes down to it. But, we're all trying to make the lowest score possible just for the tournament and that hole. I haven't really, you're not really thinking about, wow, if I make eagle here, I can jump those boys or anything. You're just trying to shoot the lowest score possible. So I'm sure if myself or Jason makes eagle, I'm sure it'll ring in the other person's head.
Well, with that said, 16 has been in the past a game changer.
Oh, it's the easiest hole out here.
And joke and have a good time, and that's what you want.
It's the easiest hole out here for these guys. It is a great opportunity for eagle, and with that group, you're talking about 3 guys who could all hit it a long way. I don't know what they'll be hitting in to 16, but that's 3 guys who could certainly bomb it. If you're talking about a long drive composition, those guys they're all right there in the mix.
Yeah, and he just talked a little bit about playing with Rory and Jason Day the first 2 rounds. Here's a little bit more on Brooks and this marquee threesome.
All right, far left over here, and then we'll go to the back.
Brooks, can you talk a little bit about your group? You've got, obviously, you've got Rory McIlroy, you've got Jason Day in your group. Just talk about playing with those guys.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun to watch Rory hit the ball, watch him hit the driver. I think, this golf course suits him. Jason, these greens are pretty much made for him. He makes everything inside 20 feet, it feels like. So it'll be a fun week. It'll be quite a few people out there following that group, and which will bring some excitement, bring some passion, which I think this place definitely isn't lacking.
All right, so that's one of the marquee threesomes, one of the marquee pairings that we talked about earlier. In hour number 1, we were going over some of these pairings for tomorrow. But again, I want to stress to everybody, it's a whole different ball game. You don't have to get up at the crack of dawn to get out here to the golf course to watch guys early at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. That is not happening. You're not going to have guys teeing off until after 11 o'clock.
That's right, 11:20 through 1:10. That's your tee times. Instead of starting at 7 a.m. and having golf literally from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., you're going to have golf from 11:20 till probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we mentioned the Jason Day, Koepka, and McIlroy pairing. right before they go off from the first hole on Thursday. Tomorrow, Justin Rose, Matt Kuchar, and Jordan Spieth. Also tomorrow, Paul Casey, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas at 12:04, and right before them at 11:53, all you have is U.S. Open champion Gary Woodland, John Rahm, and Xander Schauffele.
That's the three long ball guys, too. That would be a good long drive competition between those three as well.
What do you think, and we were talking about this yesterday, about the fact that the four major winners, and of course, Tiger still can bomb it, but you had Koepka, Woodland, and Shane Lowry. They're the major winners. They all hit it a ton. Most of these guys do hit it a ton. But here on this course, and you and I have played this course many times, not that we're in that caliber, but do you believe you have to hit it long? I don't think so. It's more strategy,
this
right?
This is an accuracy golf course.
Yeah.
This is now, again, but that's all relative because if you can hit a 4-iron 250 yards, well, in a course where you don't have to hit driver, but you need to place the ball. If you could hit an iron and still get it out there that far, that still gives you an advantage. I mean, there's always going to be an advantage for hitting the ball further as long as you're accurate in doing so. And if you're using less club, that gives you that advantage.
No question about that. All right, coming up in hour number 2, we're going to be joined by Lisa Cornwell from the Golf Channel, one of their hosts and reporters, and a former All-American golfer at the University of Arkansas.
She is. She can play some golf. She can also talk some SEC football. I used to talk SEC football with her on a weekly basis, and she used to be on this station on a weekly basis talking SEC football. So she's all versed in that.
You played this course, Lisa, before? Long time ago.
But yeah, she's a legit player.
Well, we're looking forward to talking to her. We're also looking forward to having Keith Pankey and Jay Hasselman join us for the 4-man scramble. We'll make our picks for this week's WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. A lot more to come, and don't forget, after we wrap it up at 1 o'clock, Johnny Radio's Happy Hour, and that'll be followed by Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. Take you all the way up until 6 o'clock. We'll be back out here tomorrow and Friday, once again from 10 to 6, continuing coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. You're listening to Sports 56 Middays right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag Equipment can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, these tractors can tackle every chore on your to-do list. Call 662-890-3141 or stop in today to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. As most of you know, I don't have a history of bragging or boasting that Five Ash Roofing is the best roofer in the Memphis area, but did you know we are the only diamond level roofing professional in the area? We are one of very few local roofing companies that have been in business for 20 years. We've never had a justified claim against us. We are locally owned and family operated. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingles. We're experts in insurance claim. We do residential and commercial work. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. We support local youth sports and St. Jude's. We have worked with churches and veteran services to help those in need by providing services at a deep discount or even for free. We are currently working with Young Life to give them a free roof on the historic log cabin in Germantown. Five Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Drop the anchor, will you?
Sure, Grandpa.
You tied it off, right?
Tied what off?
The anchor. And the rope that the anchor was attached to.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor.
Oh. Hey, watch your mouth.
Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So much for fish for dinner.
At CarMax, when we say we buy all the cars, we mean it.
Over the last 20 years, we've purchased millions of cars from coast to coast. In the last year alone, we've bought a mountain of Mercurys, an armada of Nissans, a ton of Titans, an ocean of Pacificas, and a sea of Siennas. Not to mention a few Hellcats and a couple of Tornadoes. So no matter what you're selling, CarMax is buying. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. CarMax. We buy all the cars.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
Hey, this is Peter Edmiston from the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Come join me at Edwin Watts Golf on Thursday from 12 to 1 as we celebrate the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And I want to give you tickets. Come by and putt on that beautiful green inside the beautiful building over at Edwin Watts Golf. We've got putters, we got balls, all of it for you, and you just got to sink a putt, and that'll get you an extra entry, but you get one for even coming on out and seeing me. Poplar and Perkins, Edwin Watts Golf, giving tickets away on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, live today from the hub at TPC Southwind. WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational practice rounds going on today, tomorrow round one. And, of course, we'll be out here, as I mentioned, a number of times till 6 o'clock. Johnny Radio's happy hour to follow. Then it'll be sports time with Wolo and Stats, and we'll be back out here tomorrow and Friday as well, all day from 10 until 6. Austin Eldridge is back in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And, of course, Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at the FedEx Corporation. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. Later on in the hour, we'll be joined by Keith Penke and by Jay Hasselman as we'll make our picks for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. But right now, very pleased to be joined by Lisa Cornwell from the Golf Channel, host and reporter, and a former All-American golfer at the University of Arkansas, and just discovered this during our break here. You were the first scholarship women's golfer at Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't think I should have brought that up. Because it's like I told Eli, that nothing makes you feel old. You don't feel old when it's like 5 years removed, but when you think about how many years removed it is now.
Yeah, but come on now. Look,
you can always say you were the first, though.
That's right.
Yes, you got history there.
It's funny because we've got Jay Hasselman coming on here a little bit later on from Edwin Watts. Man, Lisa's had an adventure already. Her week here is to get here was an adventure. You had to sleep in Houston, or your flight got canceled. You had to go to Houston, slept there. Bag didn't arrive till today, so you had to go shopping yesterday, including at Edwin Watts, to be able to get some stuff to be on TV last night.
Look, I mean, I love to go to Edwin Watts. It's the only place I like to shop. I'm the oddest female in the world. I had to go to Macy's and get jewelry and a shirt for the show because we have to dress up. But then I got to go to Edwin Watts so I could wear golf clothes out here. Because you can't wear jeans and a T-shirt, which is how I travel. It was, and, we all have nightmare travel days. But my bag arrived this morning, so I'm a new person, and I got a full night's sleep.
And you had to actually stay in Houston stay in a hotel because you couldn't get out?
Well, I wasn't supposed to. I had an 8-hour delay in Newark. I had a nonstop into Memphis, and then that kept getting canceled because the weather there was so bad, and I was like, you know what? I have to get out of this area. I was the last seat on the Houston flight. I said I'm just going to go there because I know it's a United hub. I can get to Memphis easily. I got here easily. My bag didn't. First world problems.
That's the worst.
We're glad to have you. We're glad that you're here. You look terrific. You sound terrific, and we appreciate it. So, you said you played here years ago on this course. Was it after the remake?
It was before the remake.
Okay.
So a lot of it I don't remember. But obviously, and it's my first time covering it for Golf Channel, but I've watched it over the years. I mean, number 18 stands out.
Yeah.
It's such a difficult par 4 with that water left in the big bend. Justin Thomas talked about it yesterday, too. I think for anybody like JT who hasn't played it competitively, that's the hole that sticks out.
Yeah.
Right.
Second hardest hole on the golf course last year. And, when it comes down to the wire, I mean, we remember DJ holing out, but it can make or break some players who are in contention on Sunday.
Especially if they put that pin over there on the left where it brings the water into play on that. And because as of yesterday I was watching, Jim Furyk out here playing pressure, and there's like 5 balls littered out there. I'm like, they're all trying to figure out what you want to hit off that tee is a big decision because where you need to be. I mean, that's a big decision for everybody.
Well, and it's not just the approach, but professionals, they really dial into sight lines, and that's a tough one depending on your shape, your shot shape. I mean, if you're a guy like DJ who cuts the ball, actually he can probably bring it back a little bit and just hit his little stinger cut down there. But look, the golf course I think is a little bit softer right now, so that could be a pretty big dynamic going into Thursday through Sunday, and it's not expected to get really hot, so I don't know how much the weather could dry this golf course out. It'll get drier, but I don't think it's going to be incredibly firm or fast with the temperatures in the 80s.
I like courses where there's a little bit more risk-reward factor, and there's some here. We were talking earlier, we heard from Brooks Koepka about the 16th, which is a par 5, and in years past, a lot of times it's at least shuffled the leaderboard for a while and then see what happens 17 and 18, but to have that opportunity to go for it, to try to eagle the hole, it's excitement for the fans, but I think for the players as well.
Yeah, I think they like it, and somebody who plays aggressively like a Brooks Koepka, it's fun for them. And look, the PGA Tour, in terms of how they set up golf courses, they're really good at watching players and figuring out the adjustments that they need to make based on who is doing what out there, what the leaderboard looks like, and what they want on Sunday. So, yeah, I think that we'll definitely see some course adjustments by the PGA Tour dictated by how soft or how firm and fast this golf course gets.
So I like number 3 here because as a par 5, that's one they can make eagle, but anything right is water, and you can make a double bogey quickly on that hole too.
Yeah. Again, I don't remember, and I haven't been out on the course yet. That's one thing I want to do today is get out there and drive around. But these guys are so good at planning strategies, and they're so good at coordinating that with their caddies. I mean, their caddies get here early. They walk the courses. They know their players obviously really well. And again, for them, it's all about getting the sight lines down and what they're comfortable with.
How much of a factor, if it is at all we hear about is jet lag. Well, they're not playing till Thursday after many of them played at the Open Championship. I was in Europe a month and a half ago. Of course, I'm not playing professional golf, but I sometimes think it's a little overrated, the jet lag thing. Do you believe that there could be that factor with some of these players having just played, those who made the cut and played all 4 days?
It's a mixed bag. This week I would say yes because of the temperature differences. That to me is the biggest thing. Look, most of these guys fly privately. So if we were talking about the LPGA or the Webb, now the Korn Ferry Tour, absolutely, because you're having to get your bags. And even if you're sitting in 2B, it's still not like sitting on NetJets.
I agree. Yeah.
But going from the weather that they had in Ireland, it's a long, grueling week. You see players spending a lot more preparation time for a major championship, especially when you get to link-style golf. You have to prepare differently and a little bit more.
Good point.
So, but I think the biggest factor is just the weather. I mean, we thought last year Tiger came into this event, which was at Firestone, but he had just come off vacationing in the Swiss Alps. And I remember talking to him. Nice. He was, I know, right? Yeah, tough life he leads. But just adjusting to the temperature differences and the air differences really had an effect on his body. He was exhausted, and you could tell just watching him the whole week. So I think that's something to pay attention to. These guys aren't prepping like they normally would ahead of a big tournament, especially given the fact that most of them are coming from the Open, where the weather was colder and windier and damper. I don't even think DJ's playing today. So normally it would be a 9-hole day. So a lot of these guys are probably just taking some downtime and trying to recoup.
And if there's certainly anybody that knows the course and knows what to do, it's DJ, having won here twice. Lisa Cornwell from the Golf Channel joining us. What are your expectations out of Rory this week? I mean, disappointed. He felt a lot of pressure and everything last week and got off to that terrible start, almost made the great comeback to make the cut on day 2. But where do you feel he might be mentally for this week?
You know, every time Rory tees it up, I expect him to win. I mean, it doesn't matter what happened the week before. He has that much talent. Just watching him go through and navigate a golf course to me is so impressive. Does he always have the performances that he wants? No, but look at his season. I mean, it's been remarkable the way that he's played. And last week was tough. I mean, he had all the pressure in the world on him. And sure, Lowry had pressure and McDowell, but it's not like Rory McIlroy. He was the story. And, I mean, when he yanked that iron off the tee on 1, you just felt for him. And then things – but to come back and shoot a 65 like he did on Friday and almost make the cut was pretty remarkable. So, you know, I think you look at him in certain pressure situations like we saw last week at Royal Portrush, like we see every year at Augusta National. Again, he's the story, chasing that career Grand Slam. It's just sort of getting over that hurdle. But every time Rory tees it up, I expect him to be right in the mix on Sundays.
You had mentioned earlier the name Justin Thomas, and he's been so pro-Memphis and pro this tournament, although he hasn't played a competitive round here because of the schedule, and now the schedule works. Do you think it's a disadvantage, or is it much of a disadvantage, if you believe it is, that you have guys in the field who have played here a number of times and guys who have not played at all?
It's always an advantage to have played. I don't think that you would ever say it's an advantage not to have played, I guess, unless you've just had really bad experiences on this type of Bermuda grass, or, you know, you don't like the layout particularly well. But Justin has one of the best caddies in the game, and Jimmy Johnson, and they have a really good relationship. And I know Jimmy got here early and worked through things, and Justin doesn't seem to let those sort of things bother him. He adapts really well. And given these conditions, you know, he's a really high ball hitter. He hits it a long way. For him, I think it's just controlling the driver, which is important on this golf course.
I guess what I'm asking is for people who are making predictions, it's not crazy to predict guys who have not played here to win this tournament because, as you said, they got caddies, they scout the course, they know exactly what they need their golfer to do. The golfer has had a practice round or two, so it's not that much of a disadvantage having not played here. Right? Or do you go with guys that have played here?
I always would say I'd go with a player who's played here.
Okay.
In any tournament ever. I mean, because it is an advantage. If you go back, if you looked at statistically, I mean, the people who win have played the golf course before competitively.
Okay. Fair enough.
And whether you've just been out there, it's a big difference between teeing it up with your buddies or even with your coach or, you know, with your caddy versus teeing it up in competition. So I would always go with somebody who's played the course before.
Well, I think it's just the idea of just there's a confidence factor. Like you kind of know, where to miss. I mean, for a guy like Dustin Johnson, who's won on this golf course twice, he just stepped to that tee feeling like, I know this place. Like I know what to do to win a golf tournament here, and that's for other guys who haven't played here. There's always this game's such a mental thing to just have the confidence in your head of I know what I'm doing. I know this golf course. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean obviously confidence in any sport's key, but in this sport especially, and just being able to free swing it a little bit more, knowing the course, knowing the right spots, knowing where to take your medicine and where not to, and like you said, where to miss it. I mean, they don't miss it a lot, but on this course, again, you go back to, they all talk about drivers. It's pretty important, obviously, and it's like that for a lot of courses, but I think this one, with the movement that it has, that's definitely a key club.
And this rough here, and it's not super long or anything, but it's like, it's a Bermuda rough, that ball sits down in it. It's so tough to hit out of that stuff, man.
Right, it's absolutely opposite of what they saw last week, you know, that sticky, thick fescue or whatever it was, and this gnarly Bermuda when it dries out. Again, the fact that you guys have had some rain may help a little bit. So
one of the guys who has played here, has experience, and he's had some success here, although he hasn't won, is Brooks Koepka. What do we mean? I mean, the guy in majors is a machine. It's crazy. What he's done this year in the majors, what he's done over the last two plus years in majors, but in the other tournaments, he's not as good. This is somewhere between. It's not just your regular tournament, but it's not a major. What should we expect out of Brooks?
Well, I think that It's a WGC event, and he's right up there in the FedEx Cup standings. And he's obviously an ultra-competitive guy, so I think that this is going to carry a little bit more weight than if it was on the schedule last year as the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Now that it has WGC, they're leading into the playoffs. He knows where he is chasing that $10 million bonus. I don't necessarily think that it's the money that he's chasing, but the title. And he likes those big titles, obviously,
Right.
Part of his success winning 4 majors. I don't know if you could write a book about Brooks Koepka and how he does what he does. I think it would sell like hotcakes. But it's kind of like, you and I've talked football a lot. It's kind of like when Alabama plays Kentucky, and sometimes you see the letdown.
Yeah.
Although Kentucky was better last year, but in years past, that's how. It's just the preparation is different, the mindset and how you attack. When Alabama's playing Georgia, you have to bring your best stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be something up to that. The thing too with him, because I was on earlier, because people don't even necessarily realize that the Wyndham rewards thing, like the regular season champ gets a $2 million bonus, which is amazing the amount of money that is out here now. But like if he were to come in here and win with Koepka already having the lead, this would basically be like a $4 million win for him.
Yeah, and he's well aware of that. I mean, obviously he was asked about it and talked about it, and so that too is going to change the way you prepare and try to get ready for a tournament. Again, I think it's all about preparation for these players at this level, and especially the players who have the utmost confidence, like a Brooks Koepka or a DJ or, Justin Thomas coming in with a little bit of form.
You don't turn down $4 million, but I think you're absolutely right. When you're up to this level and you're already multimillionaires, it's about being number one. It's about winning the cup. It's about winning big events, which is unfortunate for some of the smaller events because you don't always get the great players that come to the venue. Let me ask you this. I know it's still so early because we got this event. We have the FedEx Cup playoffs to determine the player of the year. But right now, if you had to vote for the player of the year, 4 different winners in the 4 majors, who would be your player of the year? Is it Koepka because he's been in the top 5?
I would think it's got to be, right? If you're first, second, and fourth?
Right. Yeah.
He won it last year, right?
It would have to be.
And he won it last year, didn't he? He won 2 majors last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, had to have
been the player of the year last year, right? So,
Yes.
my gosh.
Yeah, you think about what he's done and the consistency that he's had in majors. That's what's incredible. I mean, almost winning the U.S. Open at Pebble. It's unthinkable. And then he was in the mix until Sunday at Royal Portrush. He's just fearless.
It's funny. We've talked many times on the show about how Tiger changed the game, and then you look at Tiger and the physique and just the physical specimen. Now you see Koepka, and you go, oh my gosh, he looks like a robot. He's just an Adonis out there. And then every once in a while, you get Shane Lowry winning the Open Championship, which makes us feel really, really good. That golf is still a game. It doesn't matter what you look like. You could be good.
That's exactly right. We see it week in and week out. It's not always Koepka and DJ with a 38-inch vertical out there winning. I mean, look, we see more athletes out on tour, but I think that, again, for those players, it's just part of the discipline and part of the routine, and I think that it affects their mental play as well. I just think that it's part of what they go through. I think we'll always see different players. This is not going to be a tour where every week it's whoever's the best athlete winning.
Right.
Well, for you, I mean, again, you've played golf at a very high level. How do you explain the Nate Lashley and Dylan Fratelli and all like the
Matthew Wall?
I mean, all
these great stories.
The story. I mean, but Wolf at least was there. And now, granted, he did it earlier. I don't think anybody thought he'd win that way, but at least he was an NCAA champion. But like some of these guys, like you go, how do they win a tournament when these other names that are in this tournament should win? You would think win all of them. How does the Nate Lashley story happen?
It just shows you how talented they are. I mean, look, you go out on the Korn Ferry Tour. I don't think people realize that the level of talent and how difficult it is to win out here. That's why when you see repeat champions, it's crazy. Justin Thomas is 26 years of age, and before his birthday in April, he had 9 PGA Tour wins in a major and a FedEx Cup championship. It just shows you that, I mean, look, you're not going to win every single week, and there are certain golf courses that fit players. CT Pan is a perfect example at Harbortown. windy conditions. It's not a long golf course. He's a smaller guy, strong, lower center of gravity, and was really able to keep the golf ball out of the wind. And so it was just his week. And if you go back and look at his putting statistics, he made putts early, and it just kept going. And sometimes when you get on a roll like that, and we talk about confidence so much in this sport, that cup just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so obviously, you have to keep the ball in play, but you don't win any event without putting well, without scrambling well. And you can't explain it. That's why I'm a horrible prognosticator. If you asked me to pick, I would never. I mean, everybody always kind of navigates toward the bigger names.
Sure. Yeah.
But then sometimes you have to look at the golf course. You have to like Wyndham every year, a smaller Donald Ross course where Davis Love III won when he was 53 years of age, 52. So the golf course obviously dictates a lot of that. But these bigger, tougher, meaner courses that we see in major championships here in the United States, that's why we see more of these athletes winning. But that's why when you go over to Europe and play the Open, a lot of these European players have more success because you got to keep the ball in the fairway because the rough's so nasty, the greens are slower, the conditions are tough, and that's what they grew up in.
Right. And there was Fleetwood was in there, Westwood,
who
you haven't brought up his name forever. He's hanging in there, and I think that's a great point about that.
And that's the thing. It's just and it goes, but it also, as you said, there's just a lot of really talented guys out there that can put it together for 4 days. And that's what I mean, they may not be able to do it all the time for 4 days, but that 1 week where they get the confidence for 4 days, it just shows you how deep these fields are and how many guys can win a golf tournament.
But also, you mentioned earlier the Corn Ferry. Bring those guys over here, and we watch them hit a ball, and we go, oh, my gosh, how great is that player? It's not just the PGA Tour. There are so many great players, which makes it just amazing when you watch a player, like you said, Justin Thomas, at his age already have accomplished that, because there are so many obstacles in the sense of competition that are there to try to win as well. And you've been able to accomplish that at your age with all these greats. Many of them that are not even on the tour yet will be one day and will be big winners down the road.
That's exactly right. There is a ton of talent. Now, you look at the guys at the upper echelon, and they are a step above, and it's with every club in the bag. I mean, DJ became a better player when he worked hard at flighting the wedges. He's an exceptional wedge player. We don't talk about it enough. He's unbelievable. Brooks Koepka is an unbelievable putter, but we want to talk about how far they hit it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guys who are winning on multiple occasions have figured out a way to become exceptional with every shot that the golf course requires.
Great point. And we talked to Dottie Pepper on the show yesterday, and this is the Tiger Woods generation of golfers. These are the guys that grew up watching Tiger Woods play golf. I mean, that's another part of the effect that he had on this game.
Look at the talent out there. It's because he
made it cool.
He changed the game of golf. Yeah, he made it athletic. He made it more popular.
Made it hip.
And they all wanted to play like him, so they worked harder. That's why the players are better, because they saw Tiger working hard. They're like, I want to do that. I don't want to go to the 19th hole and drink with my buddies. I want to get out there and go to the gym and get on the range and putt and chip, and that's why we see the talent getting better and better.
Absolutely. All right, before we let you go, is there do you have a favorite player or two that you like to interview? Some of our fans would love to hear about a player that they maybe don't know. I mean, maybe a player who's misconception about them or something like that.
They're all so good. I mean, I love talking to Ian Poulter. I think that he gives a lot. Rory McIlroy is incredible because he's just so thoughtful, not in terms of, I mean, he's a nice guy, but he will say what's on his mind. He's not scripted. He's very open. Mm-hmm. Jordan Spieth's like that. I mean, if you watch Jordan out on the golf course and then you watch him in his interviews, whether it's after a good day or a bad day, you kind of see that emotion coming out a little bit. And so he's good. I think so, a lot of these guys who do this on a regular basis, they're in the media, they're open, they're They're very forthcoming.
See, that's great. That's all you can ask for as an interviewer or a reporter is to have them be open, shoot from the hip, because it's when it's scripted stuff, golf talk.
Yeah.
That gets boring.
Well, it makes my job easy because
Right.
then the follow-up question is about what he just said.
Exactly.
And so it's because now I'm listening and I want to know more.
Yeah.
And I know that that's what the viewers at home are doing. They're wanting to know more about what he just said because he's giving you that information.
All right. When can folks see you on the Golf Channel this week?
Today, 4 o'clock Central. We're live on Golf Central, and then is it horrible that I don't know the show times the whole week?
No, it's not.
I'm going to be honest.
It's not.
You've had a rough trip here getting here. I'm just happy you're here.
During the broadcast, I'll do player interviews. So
Okay.
that's the best part of it.
And then, what's your thoughts on your Arkansas Razorbacks this year? Is it going to be better than last year?
Yes. How much? I don't know. We got Ben Hicks from SMU, good quarterback. It's such a different system from what Bielema ran, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
Trying to run smash mouth football in the SEC West when you're Arkansas is just tough. Recruiting against these teams, I think that's why Petrino was successful, and it was exciting for all of us because it was just a different style, and that's what sometimes you have to mix it up and do that. So look, I think that Morris is a great coach. Look at his track record. Look what he did at SMU. It's just he's going to have to get all new players. He's going to have time. And, it's just how much time will he have? Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. Will it be the year after? I think that at that point you should start seeing more wins in the wins column. But
do Hogs fans have the patience to wait that long?
Do any sports fans have patience?
Nobody does.
No.
So, but I'm asking you specifically because you are one. So, will they wait? Will they give Chad Morris? And I agree with you with Chad. He's a very capable coach. But will they give him a chance, several years, to bring in his guys?
Well, you have to. You have no other option. And that's what my hope is with our AD is that, he brought in his guy and this is what he wants, and you have to stick with him. Anybody who knows sports, but especially football, you understand systems, and it is like it's going from rap music to classical. And so, I mean, you don't make that change overnight. And so he has to have time. He has to have at least 5 years.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We're sorry that you went through the trials and tribulations of your travel here, but you're here, and check out Lisa on the Golf Channel, terrific host and reporter, former All-American golfer at the University of Arkansas. Make sure to follow her on Twitter at Lisa Cornwell GC.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. We had a lot of fun over the years.
It's been a long time.
Getting to talk.
It's been 6 years
I miss talking football. I'm talking golf all the time. I was hoping we were going to talk more football than golf.
We'll bring you on during the football season and see where the Hogs stand.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for
Thank you,
having me.
Lisa. Lisa Cornwell joining us here on location at the Hub, TPC Southwind, the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Practice rounds today, but tomorrow it gets underway at 11:20. So we hope the crowds are going to be record-breaking here, and I think there's a good chance, especially with this beautiful weather. We will take a break. When we come back, it's our four-man scramble. Keith Penke, Jay Hasselman will join us. We'll make our picks for the big event. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab a seat for Happy Hour. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 till 3 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
The show is about to begin.
Drop the anchor, will you?
Sure, Grandpa.
You tied it off, right?
Tied what off?
The anchor. And the rope that the anchor was attached to.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor.
Oh. Hey, watch your mouth.
Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So much for fish for dinner.
It's time for some straight talk. School's starting, so I'm going to drop some phone knowledge on you. You're paying way too much for wireless. Switch to Straight Talk and get the same 4G LTE networks the big guys offer for up to half the cost. Get the unlimited plan, just $45 a month with the first 25 gigs at high speeds, then 2G. No contract, plus $200 off the latest Samsung Galaxy S9. Knowledge dropped. Class dismissed. Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less.
See terms at straighttalk.com.
The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind, July 24th through 28th.
Join me, Dustin Johnson, when I return to TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
As much as you might want to spend some time enjoying a leisurely meal inside the comfortable confines of Sunrise on Jefferson, sometimes you just don't have the time. That's why you can always call ahead to get the delicious Sunrise food to go. Just call 552-3144 and place your order. And when you get to Sunrise, you can just run in the side door, pick up your breakfast or lunch, and be back on the road in no time at all. If you can't take the time to eat at Sunrise, you can still get a taste of heaven and take it with you. Everything will be a little bit better if you pick up some Sunrise.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays live today from the hub at TP Southwind. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Austin Eldridge back in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Winton Road, just north of I-40. Big shout out to all our great WGC sponsors. Our title sponsor, Landers Ford. We saw Kent Ritchie here about an hour ago inside the hub. Also the Half Shell, Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, Blues City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grisanti's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, and Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center. Again, a big shout out to all our terrific sponsors of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Time now for the four-man scramble.
It's time for the Sports 56 Middays four-man scramble. Joining Greg and Eli are Keith Penke from Ridgeway Country Club and Jay Hasselman from Edwin Watts. Here are Greg, Eli, Keith, and Jay with this week's four-man scramble.
As I said to open up the show today, it's finally here. The WGC is upon us, and we'll be making the picks in a few minutes. But first, let's formally welcome Jay Hasselman, as I just mentioned, Edwin Watts being one of our sponsors here of our golf coverage. Hi, Jay.
Guys, how about this weather?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I can't believe how lucky we are.
Keith Penke from Ridgeway Country Club. Hey, Keith.
Yeah, it's fun to be outside, that's for sure.
It's that's not something you're often going to say this time of year. This is unheard of weather. Jay, by the way, we just had Lisa Cornwell on, and she was we were talking about the fact that she was over at your place yesterday to get since her bags did not arrive, she had to get some stuff to wear on TV last night, and she went to Edwin Watts. I know you took care of her.
She could not have been nicer, too. What a nice lady.
She's awesome. She is absolutely awesome.
Do you guys, and let me ask Keith first, do you have any recollection of the last time we were saying, "Oh, this is unbelievable weather for the golf tournament"? Like,
last year or 2 years ago, it wasn't. It was very nice. It wasn't bad at all.
What's crazy is I remember last year at this week. Last year, I remember we were all like, "Wow, this is a great week. It would be nice if we got this next year, the same week." And guess what? We got it.
If you want to,
I remember last year or the year before were really nice weeks, if I remember right, for the tournament in June. But yeah, normally it's hot and fiery.
If you want to participate in our four-man scramble, get in right now, 360-8255. That's 360-8255. The phone number, you will pick one of the four of us. And whichever one of us picks the 3 golfers that make the most money this week, that listener will get a $20 gift card to Edwin Watts and be entered into the drawing at the end of the year for Golf for 4 at beautiful Ridgeway Country Club. You just can't beat that. If you've already won a week, you are not allowed to participate again. But if you want to get in, 360-8255. I'll tell you that our picking order this week, Keith has the first pick, followed by Jay, then Greg, and then me. Last week, Reggie was the winner, as he had Keith, and Keith got his first win since week 3. He won the first 3 weeks of the year, and then he comes back and he gets his 4th win of the year. $540,000 for Keith last week. Greg with $354,000. Jay $65,000, and I hung the donut last week.
You had a goose egg? Is that the first time this year?
That is the first time this year. I'm not sure I've ever had a goose egg before.
No, I mean anybody. Has anybody else had one?
No, that is it.
Wow, how about that?
Rory not getting back and making the cut really hurt me there, but yeah. So congratulations to Reggie. Reggie, you got the $20 gift card and is entered into the drawing for Golf for 4 at Ridgeway Country Club. So Jay, your thoughts on the Open and Shane Lowry getting it done?
Well, first of all, I feel like the RNA did me a disservice when they tested Xander's driver. That got him completely out of sorts, and that really cost me. I thought it was awesome to see an Irishman win in Northern Ireland. I did feel like Sunday was a little anticlimactic, though. It's funny because I usually love the British Open, and I like the first couple of days, but other than the Masters, all the majors have been a little anticlimactic to me on Sunday.
True.
Keith, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I wasn't even hardly excited to watch it because he was so far up. Now, granted, when it started and that rain was pounding him, you thought, well, you never know. Maybe something could happen, and then old Koepka goes out bogey, 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 and then you're like, all right, we're done. But no, bogey, totally bogey, bogey, and made up there ground on JB Holmes.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a couple minutes on the back nine when Fleetwood, could have made a putt, maybe cut it to 2, but then all of a sudden he had that bad hole and it was over. But no, it's great for Shane Lowry. It just was unfortunate that Rory missed the cut. I think that was your storyline for the weekend, and it just didn't happen.
Well, Jay said that the RNA did him a disservice. I actually agree with that with Schauffele. I think mentally he kind of was lost after that, and he'll have that driver back for this week. But I had 3 guys right there. I had 3 guys in the top 8 or something like that, and then we go into Sunday, and Mother Nature just killed that. Rose was terrible. To be able to play like fairly well, and I know these guys were over par, but to play fairly well in that weather is says an awful lot about a guy like Shane Lowry. Tommy Fleetwood played okay, but that weather, guys, that was about as nasty as you can get.
Yeah, I think it was Justin Thomas posted a video on Twitter his dad filmed, and it was just raining buckets sideways. But those places are so hard and there's so much that they don't hold water, so they just keep going. And it doesn't like there. Yeah.
Has anybody ever thrown away more money on a Sunday than JB Holmes?
No, plus 16. I heard it was $700,000 he lost.
That's like
John Daly probably has.
I can't even comprehend. Again, the conditions were tough, but I can't comprehend a guy who's that close to like the lead shooting an 87 on Sunday.
Oh, and then Koepka had to watch it, and then Koepka still played pretty good. He had to watch every shot of it.
So what did you guys think? Let me start with you, Keith. What did you think about Koepka's criticism? So to add insult to injury with J.B. Holmes with his performance, he's criticizing him for his slow play, which is notoriously slow. But what he basically said was, listen, you can't start thinking about your shot after your opponent, or not opponent, but your partner, playing partner, in this case me, after I've already completed my shot. You don't start thinking, put your glove on and all that. He goes, you have to be ready to go. What do you think, Keith? And then Jay followed it up.
I always hate it when people talk up on media about it. But, it's the way, you're supposed to do it the way Koepka said. I was out playing golf Monday with my kids, and the first thing I said was, hey, so-and-so's hitting. You get up there and get ready for your shot. That's what everybody should be teaching your kids, whether they're 6, 7, 8 years old, is, and I tell people all the time, no, I don't mind playing golf with the worst golfer in the world as long as they're going to finish in 3.5, 4 hours. Period. It's about, you just be ready to go. Koepka should have just probably taken the high road, just not said anything, and just moved on to Memphis and just
been quiet about it. But I don't know.
Jay?
But he's right. I mean, be ready.
Yeah, I agree with. I don't know that Koepka is in the right to say it. Well, of course they ask him about it. I mean, so I guess you're going to say something, but to me it's selfish. A slow player, a fast player is never going to bother a slow player, but a slow player will completely ruin the day of a fast player. And but until the PGA Tour or whoever steps up and penalizes these guys and makes a point of enforcing there's rules about the pace of play, but they're not enforced.
That's the part I still I don't understand it, because and Koepka, I will give Koepka was trying to be nice, because he even said he was better today than he normally is. He kept saying he wasn't even as bad as he normally is, but then he kept going about how he was still slow. But the PGA and golf, the world of golf, they are such little sticklers for every little rule. If you move a grain of sand that you weren't supposed to move, that's a penalty. Everything else. Why will they not enforce the rules that are in the books about the pace of play?
If they do it the first time they do it, it'll change everything.
Keith, you go first.
As soon as they start enforcing it, it'll change everything. It'll make the guys actually think. It's just one of those things. You just got to do it. And, it sucks for Schauffele with his driver, but, hey, he'll make sure he's ready next time. Or, obviously there's not much he can do on it, but it's,
That's not true. He can get that driver tested whenever he wants.
Hey,
I disagree with him when he says it's not his job to make sure his equipment conforms. I think it's 100% his responsibility.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. But they need to stick to the rules. If they're going to call somebody for a ball moving, they need to call somebody for slow play. Period.
You got to enforce all the rules, not just some of them.
And it's always weird to me why they've just kind of look the other way and refuse to do it. Because as you said, if they do it, guys will change. They'll start playing faster.
Right. If it's in the book, you need to enforce it. If not, take it out of the damn rule book. It's pretty simple.
Some special circuits. There's times when you get more time, but if a guy's in the fairway at 147 yards to a flag that's in a right center of the green, it shouldn't take him 2 minutes to hit that shot.
Yeah.
True. All right, one other thing before we make our picks. By the way, Austin, have we gotten 4 calls yet for this? We're all set? Okay. The other thing that was a little bit of controversy from the Open was, and you guys have probably read about it, so Kyle Stanley hits a ball that's an errant shot, and people around him scream 4, but he doesn't scream 4. It bounces off the cart path. It hits the arm of the mother of the caddy of his playing partner. If you follow that, folks, the playing partner's caddy's mother, it hits him. And I forget the name of the player he was playing with, but he openly criticizes Stanley for not screaming 4. Jay, let me start with you. If everybody else there on the tee box screams 4, the golfer who hit the ball, is he obligated to scream 4?
I think he probably should have yelled 4, but how many people need to yell for
That's the question, right?
To me, it's a non-story. Accidents happen. When you go to a golf tournament, you understand that that's one of the possibilities. Should he have screamed 4? Probably. Is it really a story? Only because people won't let it go, I think. I don't know. We weren't there, and who knows? I read Kyle Stanley saying that, if he's going to tell the story, whatever the kid's name is needs to tell the whole story. He went and checked on the lady. I don't feel like he did anything crazy. Maybe I'm wrong.
Keith?
Well, he said that the caddy, his playing partners, volunteers, and, marshals all yelled. Now granted, if I'm playing and I hit a ball offline and one guy yells, another guy yells, if you yell too, it's going to be louder. So, obviously the more people that yell, if you hit the shot, you should always yell 4. I agree with that. But I agree with Jay as well. It's a non-story.
Okay.
All right, we will make our picks here for the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And again, Keith, you have the honors.
I know. It's a hard one here. You got to either Rory, Brooks, or Dustin. I'm going to go Brooks because it's almost a major. Got to go Brooks.
Whoa.
It's an almost major.
I did not expect that.
I thought Keith would pick Tiger Woods, even though he's not in the field.
You could have picked your boy Spieth last week. You'd have gotten some more money.
I could have, yeah.
I'm going to take the semi-defending champion, Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, that's
The guy who's won on this course, not
He's
once
won
but
it twice.
twice.
I mean, but Koepka's done well here. He's got a tie for third, tied for second.
Oh, yeah, he's played really good here.
He's got some good scores.
Yeah, but he's better the week after here.
Yeah, well, yeah,
He's really good the week
but,
after
hey,
he's here.
I mean, Koepka's the one that made me my money last week, so I'm sticking with him.
Well, Koepka would have been my second pick. DJ as the obvious pick. I will go with, I don't know. I think he'll bounce back and have a good tournament. I'll go with Rory.
Yeah, you got to pick Rory. Good pick.
This is a perfect place for Rory, too. It's warm. The ball's going to be in, this is a good tournament for him. He talks about how he doesn't
I almost pick Rory before I pick DJ. I just don't feel it with DJ this week.
I am going to go with, I'm going to take Finau and Phil.
He had a good, who?
Phil Mickelson.
Phil, he's not playing, I heard.
Oh, Phil withdrew, I thought.
Yeah, I thought he withdrew, too.
Phil Mickelson did not withdraw.
Okay, well, good. You can have him.
Where are you guys getting your information
Everybody
from?
was telling me yesterday he withdrew. I haven't seen it in the news, but everybody
He's
kept telling
teeing
me
off
that
at
yesterday.
he's teeing off at 12:04 on number 1 tomorrow with Torborn, Olesen, and Haitong Lee.
You sure you guys aren't thinking of Shane Lowry?
I was sad.
Yeah, we
A
knew
lot of
Shane
people
Lowry
told me
wasn't coming. He's still drinking Guinness.
Exactly. All right, so Finau and Mickelson. Comes back to me.
You could have gotten those with the last pick.
Man, oh man.
Phil.
You know what's great, guys? There's so many great players in this field. So many to
it's
choose
only like
from.
the top 70 in the world. So
This is unbelievable. I'm going to go with the guy that Jay picked last week. He had his the controversy with the driver. I'm going to go with Xander Schauffele.
All right. I'm going to take Justin Thomas. Going all initials. JT, DJ.
Keith, are you going to go with your
DJ
boy?
Singh, can you pick him, Jay?
Is he eligible?
There's a lot of guys left here.
You got to go with your boy, right? Come on.
No, I'm not taking my boy. I'm going John Rahm and Justin Rose.
Rahm and Rose.
Rahm and Rose. All right.
My boy's going to win now after I didn't pick him. I snubbed him.
Jay?
I'm really torn here. He did me bad last week. I really want to take Adam Scott. I'm going to take him. No,
Please do
Hideki
so.
Matsuyama.
He did me bad last week. You can have him.
Me?
Yep.
Well, I'm trying to pad on my first place lead, but everybody makes the cut. So for goodness sakes, it would be an easy ATM pick with Kuchar if there was a cut. But there is no cut, so everybody's making money. Who's coming out of this thing? I don't like Scott. You know what? I think I'm gonna still take Kuchar.
That's a safe pick, Mr. Vanilla.
It is.
Oh, man. I'll take
You need to take Brad Snedeker.
I actually looked at Snedeker, thinking he knows this course, knows the area.
Big story, first FedEx St. Jude championship. I mean, come on.
I really want to take Spieth just to spite Keith.
Yeah, you need to.
I don't know. I don't necessarily like Spieth here, though. I'm going to take Tommy Fleetwood.
I think that's a good pick, too.
So Jay
This week.
with DJ, Justin Thomas, and Matsuyama. Greg with Rory, Schauffele, and Kuchar. I have Finau, Phil, and Fleetwood. I went with the and then I went with then Keith goes with Koepka, Rahm, and Rose.
Okay, before we say goodbye, guys, give me each person pick one guy who's kind of and we'll have to judge whether or not he's a little bit obscure. So give me like a little bit of an obscure. I mean, they're all known, but give me a little bit of an obscure pick. Jay, you pick one, and then we'll go Keith, Eli, and me.
The guy that's played with Mickelson, Haitong Lee.
Okay, Keith.
Oh man, obscure. I guess Matthew Wolff, young gun.
Okay, all right, Eli.
Sung Kang.
And I'm going to go with Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a fantastic
Why
week,
don't we
gentlemen.
throw those in there for the money? Everybody's going to make money anyway. Put
Say
them in
again?
there. Give everybody,
Who'd you
everybody
say?
a fourth.
Who'd you say, Jay?
I said Haltone Lee, the guy that's playing with Mickelson.
Greg, you said Wallace.
I Matt Wallace, right?
I count Phil as his obscure pick if he wants to. Yeah.
Keith, who did you say?
Matthew Wolf. I actually like that. Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, and Eli, you took Sung Kang?
Yes.
Nobody took Poom Sak. How do you say it, Eli? Saxanison?
Saxanson.
Is Zachary Barnrat here?
No, he's not.
Oh, man.
He's not. And that's a good thing for barbecue. There will be a lot more barbecue for everybody. All right, Jay Hasselman, tell everybody about Edwin Watts.
Man, we're just blowing and going. We're getting ready. There's fixing to be some new golf clubs here in August. Ping's going to have some new wedges. Titleist is going to have new irons. Callaway has some new iron sets coming, so we're fixing to have some cool stuff. We're going to start getting some demos in soon, some things people come in and hit. So, come by this week, talk to us. Let's talk about the golf tournament. Maybe we'll have some new stuff to show you.
Enjoy the tournament, Jay. Have a great week, okay?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jay. And the always busy Keith Pankey over at Ridgeway Country Club. Beautiful time to get out there and see what they're all about, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's beautiful out. We've got a FedEx event out right now. We're just finishing up, and then they'll be heading out to the tournament this afternoon. And I can't wait to get out there this weekend and watch. It's going to be so much fun. The weather's just perfect. Ridgeway Country Club, the golf course, is as good as I've seen it. You can't get a bad lie in the fairways. The pool, like I keep saying, is breathtaking. We're looking at doing some renovations on our tennis courts, possibly doing that, getting that more beautiful than it already is, and the food. I mean, I can't say enough of how great the food is out here. So if anybody's looking for a family-friendly, the perfect country club in the area, Ridgeway Country Club is the one-stop shop. We have it all, and it's right where it needs to be, right between Collierville and Germantown, the perfect location. So visit us on our website, ridgewaycountryclub.com.
Thank you, Keith. Enjoy the golf. Appreciate it.
All right, thank y'all.
Want to once again thank our sponsors for the WGC, our title sponsor, Landers Ford, also Half Shell, Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, Blue City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grazzani's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, and Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center.
Also, Fleet Feet for all you runners and walkers. If you're coming out here doing a lot of walking, you always want to make sure you have good shoes that are just right for you, and the folks at Fleet Feet will do that for you. If you go in there and see them, they'll get you fitted in shoes perfect for you by the way you run or walk and where you put pressure on your foot. They've got 2 locations, Laurelwood Shopping Center in East Memphis, not far from Edwin Watts, and then out in Collierville, they're Poplar and Houston Levy, not far at all, right across the street, as a matter of fact, from Landers Ford next door to the Hueys in Collierville. Also online at fleetfeetmemphis.com, keeping up to date with all the different things they've got going on that you can get involved with their group runs, their monthly pub run series, and other events and training programs that they do. Check them out. Get all your gear from Fleet Feet.
All right, we'll take one final break, come back and wrap it up for our show from the hub at TPC Southwind and our coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Summertime and the living is easy. No more cutting or paying utilities. Literally, you guys, Town Village Audubon Park, nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Joe welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free daily transportation, utility bills, monthly coffee club, theme, dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. The living is easy. Town Village Audubon Park.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down. We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Need to get organized? Today is the day for doing with the Home Depot's Pack Store Save event. Put your basement or garage in order with a range of Husky welded steel shelves, including a 4-tier 77-inch rack, just $169. That'll save you $30. Easy to assemble, each shelf has a lifetime warranty and holds up to 1,500 pounds. That gets a lot out of your way. Come into the Pack Store Save event, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid until August 25th while supplies last.
Come to Holly Chevrolet in Marion and get a sizzling summer deal. Right now, get 20% below MSRP. That's over $9,000 off MSRP on the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. The all-new 2019 Chevy Silverado Double Cab LT. All 2018s must go. Get a 2018 Malibu for as low as $23,156. Stop by today and check out Holly's large selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs ready for you to enjoy. And at Holly Chevrolet, it's a no-pressure, no-hassle environment. As a matter of fact, there's no badgers. And never pay a dock fee. Find new roads at exit 14 off I-55 in Marion, just 15 minutes from downtown Memphis. And online at hollychevrolet.com.
2019 Chevy Silverado Double Cab LT, stock number N3580. 2018 Chevy Malibu, stock number N3377. All discounts, rebates, and incentives are included and applied. Must qualify finance with GM Financial and have a 99 year GM product. Prices do not include tax, tags, title, or registration. Take delivery by 7/31/19. See dealer for details.
Drop the anchor, will you?
Sure, Grandpa.
You tied it off, right?
Tied what off?
The anchor. And the rope that the anchor was attached to.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So much for fish for dinner.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We are wrapping up our show for today here out at the Hub at TPC Southwind, but our coverage continues. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Sports Time with Wolo and Stats will continue through the rest of the day up until 6 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be here from 10 to 6. Friday the same from 10 until 6 here out at TPC Southwind. Sleepy Z's Mattresses and Furniture by Michael Zellner, where you could save 50 to 80% off retail store prices any day you go in there. No matter when it is, you go in there, you're going to always get some unbelievably low prices at Sleepy Z's. And that's on great names like Serta Eye Comfort and Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses, furniture from the signature design by Ashley, as well as Benchcraft. They've got a kiosk there to find exactly what you're looking for if they don't have it on the showroom floor, and they will get it for you. And again, you'll always get those amazing low prices. Plus, tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 or mention either of our names, and they're going to give you an extra 10% off, and that's good for anything in the store. Sleepy Z's is at 2790 Kirby Whitten Road, right at the corner of Summer Avenue. Sleepy Z's by Michael Zellner, where you never wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Former Memphis Tigers kicker Jake Elliott, who's a cold hero in Philadelphia, helping the Eagles win a Super Bowl. And that 50-yard kick he hit was one of epic proportion. Well, last night at the Link where the Eagles play, Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones were performing right there on the 50-yard line. And right before they sang Angie, here's what Mick Jagger had to say.
That must be on the 50-yard line or something. Is this where Jake Elliott hit the field goal?
How about that? Mick Jagger referencing Jake Elliott at last night's Rolling Stones concert in Philadelphia. Isn't that good? How Mick Jagger's still going, right? Absolutely.
Tim Bontemps of ESPN did a little survey asking NBA. He has 20 NBA coaches, executives, and scouts, a combination of 20. Asked them for the best player in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard got 12 of the 20 votes. Giannis Antetokounmpo got 6. James Harden 2. So there's only 3 guys that got votes as the best player in the NBA, with Kawhi Leonard winning that vote easily. When asked who the champion will be next season, 13 of the 20 went with the Clippers. The only other teams that got multiple votes, the Bucks and the 76ers, got 2 votes each. The Lakers did not get a vote, with LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Wow, LeBron, who still many consider the greatest, still not getting one single vote. So maybe the time has passed him by to a certain degree. Very, very interesting. Congratulations to 12-year-old Dakota, St. Jude patient. Made a $50,000 or made a putt that was worth $50,000 donated by FedEx Cares to St. Jude. It happened this morning on the putting green. He was coached by Justin Rose. Justin says, "You got this," and he knocked it down from about 8 feet for $50,000. Way to go, Dakota. Big thanks to Kermit Davis, Nick Bromberg, Lisa Cornwell. Keep thanking Jay Hasselman for joining us on the program today. We are back tomorrow from the Hub at 10 o'clock with a whole new day of guests and, of course, round 1 coverage of the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Stay tuned. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour is coming up live from the Hub at TPC Southwind. For Austin Eldridge and Eli Savoy, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.
It's all going to pot. Well, it's all going to pot, whether we like it or not.
Family Leisure's pool clearance sale is July 8th through the 21st. Above ground pools starting at $11.99. 24-foot pools starting at $17.99. And you can get free upgrades on select pools that include pool filters, liners, and winter covers. Special 12-month financing is available. Plus, half off on toys, floats, and pool games. Summer's just started. There's plenty of time to swim, so make a splash at the Family Leisure Pool Clearance Sale. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Kay, I understand you suffered from symptoms of Parkinson's. Can you tell me how the Schrader Orthopedic Group with the stem cells helped you?
Stem cell had been something I had been researching for quite some time for Parkinson's, and I knew stem cell was something that was to be investigated, but when I heard about the Schrader Clinic and that they use your own stem cell, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I came up for my consultation and I said, I'm ready to go. I saw my first sign with my right hand, because that's where I was first aware of my Parkinson's. And my hand had been drawing up. I did what I normally do, like stretching my hand out, and I stretched and stretched and stretched, and all of a sudden, both hands looked exactly alike.
I know you went in for Parkinson's, but what else happened?
Have TMJ dysfunction, and as I stretched my mouth and I kept stretching, I thought, it's not cracking, it's not hurting. So that was another benefit.
Call 901-465-4300 and see how Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell can help you today.
Frontier Western Store's world-famous boot showroom is waiting for you. With aisles and aisles of boots in one easy spot, you will find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Everyone loves Ariat boots, and Frontier has over 1,000 pair in that brand alone. Come grab a pair of rugged work boots like the Workhog, or discover an everyday classic in Ariat's Rambler. Tons of other brands as well: Rocky, Dan Post, Red Wing, Durango, Justin, Twisted X, and many more. Frontier constantly restocks and refreshes their lineup of boots, so you're certain to walk out of the store happy in your new comfortable footwear. They have a wide assortment of sizes available for men, women, and children. Work, dress, or play, Frontier's knowledgeable staff will cheerfully help you find the perfect fit. It's boots galore at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch, or on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated, you know it, since 1967.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof, hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring hiring. 5 Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey everybody, the All-Star Chevy Challenge is here. And I'm telling you, if it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is the place to go, people. Take your best written deal from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to our friends at All-Star Chevrolet and they will beat it. Or they're going to give you a free tank of gas for the win. So now that I got your attention, yes, July is All-Star Challenge month when you get to let All-Star Chevy beat that deal on any new Chevy or even pre-owned vehicle you want. Just take the official written deal from any other Chevy dealer, not that one your friend wrote down at the bar, and take it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. It's that simple. Not only that, they have the best testing ground of any other Chevy dealership, and when you head